Gouch Merlot. Gouch Merlot in the building. See, you smart enough to figure it out. Gouch Merlot smart enough to figure it out. Hit that like button, man. Gouch Merlot in the building. Roger Wood in the building, man. What's cracking? My day was cool, man. How about you, man? I ain't even gonna lie, man. They was very enlightening. Today was very enlightening. Jesus Christ. Today was very enlightening. I'll give you that. How's every? Yeah. Oh man. I don't wanna. Let me come back to that. Let me come back to that. You haven't finished watching last night's show, Jack Me Off? What were you doing last night that prevented you from watching the whole show? Huh? What'd you do last night, Jack Me Off? Oh. Yeah, I'm trying to get this channel popping. I'm trying to get this channel popping, man. This channel right here. I'm trying to get this channel popping because look, the other channel is it got too much juju on it. I don't know what to call it. Like it just been through the ringer, man. It been through the ringer, man. The ugliest chunks in the building. The ugliest chunks in here, man. Early. Yeah, man. I'm trying to just I have 10,000 videos on that other channel, man. And at the least 10,000 videos. And that's not even counting the live stream. I probably got over a couple, maybe 1,500 live streams. I need to I need to I want to be on a fresh channel, man. A fresh channel without the baggage. Yeah, this is where the cool kids hang out at, man. Definitely, man. Definitely. Definitely where the cool kids hang out at. Uh, yeah. He said, you need a son, sister judge to free you from YouTube prison. Son, sister judge ain't freeing me. I'm not the right type of brother, man. I'm not the right type of brother, man. I ain't the right type of brother, man. I can tell you that right now. I ain't the right type of brother. Let me go ahead and get it started, man. Let's get it started.
Milwaukee man is now charged in a shooting that killed a 15-year-old back in 2021. 29-year-old Shavar Williams just appeared in court for the first time on these charges, but as our Stephanie Quirk found out, it is far from his first run-in with the law. Steph's live in the newsroom for us.
Yeah, Sam, Williams is charged with first-degree reckless homicide for the shooting that happened back in 2021. But court filings say the key evidence that led prosecutors to file charges didn't come until 3 years after the shooting.
Wisconsin versus Shavar Williams.
Nearly 4 years after a 15-year-old was killed.
First-degree reckless homicide.
The man accused of pulling the trigger appears in a Milwaukee County courtroom for the first time, charged with his death.
Does note, and rightfully so, sir, that you're charged with a very serious violent crime.
29-year-old Shavar Williams is accused of first-degree reckless homicide for shooting and killing a 15-year-old back in August of 2021. Officers discovered the boy near 21st and Meineke, slumped over against a fence in an alley. They say he was shot and died at the scene.
We have serious concerns about the safety of our community here.
It wasn't until the summer of 2024 when investigators say a witness came forward with key evidence that led prosecutors to connect the crime to Williams. Court filings say that witness told detectives he saw the 15-year-old and Williams exchanging gunfire the night of the shooting. He says when the victim's gun jammed, Williams fired a shot back that killed the boy. After that interview, forensic experts linked Williams' DNA to a hat found near the victim's body.
The victim of the homicide shot a gun at Mr. Williams first. It is concerning that this kind of conduct would occur again, but again, it needs to be taken quite seriously.
In court Friday, a commissioner sided with the state and set Williams' bail at $250,000, pointing to Williams' lengthy history of serious crimes, including a juvenile case of felony murder from back in 2012, which was adjudicated.
That is the protection of the surviving victims and the community.
He been murking, dude. This dude been murking shit since 2012. That's a real serious hitter right there, man. He a serious hitter. Bad man da. Damn.
The state and set Williams' bail at $250,000, pointing to Williams' lengthy history of serious crimes, including a juvenile case of felony murder from back in 2012, which was adjudicated.
That is the protection of the surviving victims and the community altogether.
And Williams is due back in court next Friday. In addition to the homicide charge, he's also charged with 2 other felonies in this case. Live in the newsroom, Stephanie Quirk, Fox 6 News.
Interesting that it took so long to find that evidence, but police they think they have their guy. Stephanie, thanks.
Good afternoon. As Mike just said, my name is Akil Davis. I'm the assistant.
Oh yeah, let's see what's going on with our New Orleans.
An inmate still on the run. We know now at least one family is in hiding. Escapee Derek Groves was convicted of killing 2 men on Mardi Gras 7 years ago. We talked with family members of one of those men, and they're stuck wondering how this happened, why they didn't find out sooner, and what they can possibly do next. Here's Rachel Hanley.
Wednesday, Jamar Robinson's family celebrated his birthday.
Love you, miss you.
2 days later, they were in hiding after finding out that the man convicted of his murder had escaped from prison.
just get all our family members out of the city. We had to get everyone out of the city. Didn't know what way we was going, crying, devastated.
2 of Robinson's family members spoke with us over the phone. They asked not to be named for their safety. Robinson and another man, Byron Jackson, were shot and killed on Mardi Gras in 2018. Derek Groves was arrested for their murders. Late Friday morning, someone they knew called the family and told them that a group of inmates had broken out of Orleans Justice Center. Groves was one of them.
No one notified us. No one told tell us anything. You know, we had to leave work. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how Derek Groves felt like with this process of us. You know, either he was coming for us. We didn't know.
They say they went to a nearby police station and 2 officers escorted them home. They grabbed what they could, got the family's young kids, including Robinson's son, from school. Then they left. By that time, Groves had been out for hours.
We just didn't know what to do at that point. And I'm so angry with all these parents, first because it's like, when I look at the news, I see the boys pulling on the door. Like, this prison was just recently built. And you mean to tell me the doors was that easy to pull apart?
And this is a family that was already exhausted. Groves was convicted of killing Robinson and Jackson in 2019, but the jury wasn't.
That's a good idea, Doug. That's a good idea, Doug. That's a good idea, Doug. That's a good idea, man. That's actually a good idea. That's a good idea, man. I may do that right now. That's a good idea. Let's see. Okay. Boom. Boom. There we go. Let me do it right now. Yo, I'm airing on Ock Nation Gold tonight. Ock Nation Gold. Link is in the description box. Ock Nation Gold. Not on this channel, which is Ock Nation News, but we're airing tonight on Ock Nation Gold. We're live right now, so make sure you guys come over to Ock Nation Gold. The link is going to be in the description box. Ock Nation Gold tonight. We're airing right now. See you over there. Yeah, man. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm gonna tell people I thought of that. Excuse me. Yeah. We in the building. In the building. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Everybody. Salute to everybody out there in YouTube landia, man. Let me upload this video. Yeah. Yeah, let me just go ahead and salute to everybody out here. That's a rough looking glider queen right there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's one rough looking glider queen. Crash out to Crook County, man. In the building, man. M626. That's one rough looking glider. Is that a dude? No, that's a dude, man. Oh man, that's a dude, man. That's a guy, man.
Just recently built, and you mean tell me the doors was that easy to pull apart?
And this is a family that was already exhausted. Groves was convicted of killing Robinson and Jackson.
Look at them shoulders, man. Look at that neck. Look at that look. Look at that caveman look. Look at that look. You can look in his eyes. You can see you looking at a man. You fucking man. I'm a kid. We're all cave people. We're all animals, man. My animal instinct can tell me I'm looking at a man. You threaten me. Arr! My caveman instincts is like it's a threat. This is a threat for resources. Be on guard. That's a dude, man. That's a dude, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's a dude, man. That's a dude, man. That is a man. I feel threatened, man. I feel like if that was a woman, yo, look at that nigga. Look at his shoulders, man. The shoulders, it's supposed to be like this. Them shoulders is brolic, man. He said, that's Miss Katie. You better stop playing with me. Miss Katie don't look nothing like that. Miss Katie is feminine, man. Miss Katie is all female, man. Hold on, I gotta move my face. Pause. So y'all can see, because y'all really can't tell. That's a brother, man. Look at that. Look at that frame, man. That nigga brolic, man. He brolic, man. You can look at how men's shoulders are, man. Men, our shoulders are not our shoulders are you say he got the same train as Mike, Big Mike. But Big Mike is a woman, though. I believe Big Mike is a woman. This one right here, I'm looking in the face. I'm looking in those eyes, man. Them ain't no lady eyes. That dude named Brett, man. He was born a Brett. That nigga named Brett. I gotta hear more.
In 2019, but the jury wasn't unanimous, and a Supreme Court ruling ended up throwing out the verdict because of it. The next trial in 2023 was declared a mistrial. The next one, later that year, ended with a deadlocked jury. Then, finally, in October of last year, Groves was convicted again. His sentencing was set for July.
It's just crazy. It's like a soul that's not being healed. Because every time we move on from this, something come up.
Now, with Groves on the run, Robinson's family is trying to figure out what to do about their jobs and the kids' school. They're planning to stay hidden while they wait for justice again. Rachel Handley, WWL, Louisiana.
And take a look on your screen. This is a photo of the inmates.
So they caught 3 of them. Seven still on the loose. This is shameful. They're gonna make a movie about this. Each day they stay on the run, the more likely they are to make a movie about this shit. This is crazy, man. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Denzel gonna play Corey Boyd. Oh shit. Michael B. Jordan gonna play one of these motherfuckers. This the murderer. The double murderer. Yeah, he gonna be the star. The double murderer gonna be the star. So that's gonna be Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan gonna play him. And what's that other nigga? What's the other one that got in trouble with the white girl a little while ago? Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors gonna play one of these other motherfuckers. This motherfucker right here. Jonathan Majors and shit. Jonathan Majors gonna play Gary Price, man. Yeah, it is true, man. These some normal name dudes, except for DeKeenan. DeKeenan, man. These some normal name dudes, man. How did they end up here, man? It's messing up our theory, man. Messing up our theory. Yeah, it's an inside job. Yeah. Pause.
NOPD told us yesterday that anyone who was a witness in any of these escapees cases or has any other.
She having a rough night, man. She done fucked up about 2-3 times, man.
reason to fear one of them, they should contact them for help. And again, 3 are back in custody and have been transferred to state correctional facilities outside of New Orleans. If you see any of them, you're asked to call 911 right away. And we will have continuing coverage of the incident and the work to try and make the jail more secure. Look for updates on our website, our free smartphone app, as well as our social media pages.
Too late now.
Right now, a manhunt is underway in Louisiana for 7 inmates who were still.
We are following breaking news right now as a harrowing, chaotic scene has developed on the East River. A tall Mexican naval ship has crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. Rescue crews are converging on the scene. Bodies, hopefully that of survivors, are already pulled from the ship.
Thank God they knocked that joint down, man. Like they did that bridge in Baltimore, man. That bridge in Baltimore, that boat hit that thing came down in like 0.5 seconds. Could you imagine if the Brooklyn Bridge would have collapsed today? You know how many people that would have been? Yeah, that bridge, I've been on that bridge several times. It got to be at least 800 cars on that motherfucker at one time. 500 to 800 cars. That's a big old river. Was that the East River? No, that's not the East River. That's the Hudson. Or is it the one of them?
We are following breaking news right now as a harrowing, chaotic scene has developed on the East River. A tall Mexican naval ship has crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. Rescue crews are converging on the scene. Bodies, hopefully that of survivors, are already pulled from the ship, and more are being pulled possibly from the water. Good evening. I'm Arthur Chan. Thanks for watching the 10 o'clock news. We're moving everything in our newscast because of what we've just gotten word of, that the Brooklyn Bridge, that it was struck by a large ship. Now, all this information, we caution, is coming in right now. What we do know is that a ship has struck the Brooklyn Bridge. There are multiple reports of a lot of injuries. Some of them may be critical. Now, the early information we're getting says that that large ship was going northbound on the East River. That's on the south side of that screen just there before it hit the bottom of the Brooklyn Bridge. Some witnesses say it shook that bridge. The vessel has 3 super tall masts, and all of them, one by one, were sheared off, falling towards the ship, falling towards the water, hitting the top deck, while hitting some other parts, hitting the water. What could only be described as incredible force there. Then it started heading towards the pier. That shot you're seeing now is from the Brooklyn side of this event, the Brooklyn side of the Brooklyn Bridge, just north of it. So it's between the Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan Bridge, traveling northbound there. People on that pier clearing away as that ship was approaching them. Now we have crews on our way there. Our Richard Jacobus is already at the scene. Let's get to him right now if we can. As I understand it, Richard, you're on Pier 17, which would put you on the Manhattan side, which is where this vessel was docked just a couple of days ago and probably left Pier 17 tonight right before this happened. What can you tell us from where you are and what you see there?
Arthur, I can tell you that it is nothing short of chaotic. We are surrounded by first responders and EMS who have been pulling people from the water on the Brooklyn side, but there is a large police presence on this side. As you mentioned, this is a Mexican Navy ship, and let me tell you, when you watch the video, it really looks like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean. Here's a look at that video, and the moment that ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge earlier this evening on a promotional tour here in New York City, the top of its mast brushing the Brooklyn Bridge as it sailed through the East River. We cannot confirm any injuries, but we are hearing that there are at least 3 people in critical condition tonight. You can see the video posted online. It was flying a giant green, white, and red Mexican flag. It's draped underneath of the bridge. The Mexican Navy saying in a post that the Academy training vessel was damaged in the accident in the Brooklyn Bridge that prevented it from continuing its voyage. We do not know if anyone on the actual ship was hurt or people who were on the pier when it struck near that bridge. But there were plenty of eyewitnesses, and we have one of them here. I'm going to turn it to Jack Cassidy, who was at an EDM concert on Pier 17. It's a concert venue here. It overlooks the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah. You saw this happening in real time. Tell me exactly what you saw, Jim.
So my friends and I, we saw the boat taking off, and we saw some men strapped to the hull, and we thought it was a very interesting thing. So we went to the edge of the Andrew Nadeeb concert. We started taking some photos. We were watching it. It was very interesting. They were attached to a tugboat, which we thought was going to take them underneath the Brooklyn Bridge at a safe height. But then it seemed that the boat was drifting backwards towards the bridge, and we thought maybe it would have a collapsible mast or something because it was towards the Brooklyn side and rather low. And then to our horror, it struck the bridge over by the walkway side, and then it collapsed. And from what some people saw, it looked like people fell into the water. All the lights went dead, and we were very concerned.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you hear something like that, you almost think, like, is that fake? Is it real? Did you hear any of it?
We weren't able to hear anything over the concert, but it was like an eerie calm came over because the set was going low, and there wasn't any screaming, any yelling. It was just no crashes. It was just silence, darkness, and it looked as if the boat had separated itself from the tugboat, and it was going backwards.
Yeah, it was. It was going backwards because if you look in the video, you can almost see how it's almost like he couldn't go forward to stop whoever was captaining the boat.
It seemed like that, yes. I believe the tugboat was trying to move them because I believe tugboats have to do that avoid this exact scenario and to avoid a Baltimore incident.
Did you see anyone being rescued out of the water? Anyone coming out tonight?
I didn't see anybody coming out of the water, but I heard from EMTs that they were bringing people over here for triage, and on Citizen there were reports of at least 10 or 12 people going into the water.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy and a frightening nightmare tonight. Jack, thank you very much. We're going to share Jack's video with you later in the show. Baron, can you pan over there for me so I can show our viewers, because this is a live look right now. Again, all of this is happening in real time. First responders have been coming in and out of Pier 17 here, in and out of the water, bringing people coming from the waters over to the pier, to ambulances waiting by. Again, we haven't been over there yet, so I can't exactly say who's coming out of the water and if they're pulling anyone from the water from this vantage point. But this is, again, across the way. And what we're hearing now, just to recount for our viewers, a Mexican Navy ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge during a promotional tour here in New York City earlier this evening. We know there are injuries. We know there are people that are in the water. There is a search and rescue operation with the New York City Fire Department underway, and we will, of course, be updating you throughout the newscast. We have eyewitness accounts, more video to show you. It is pretty.
Man, look at the white girls out on the town, man. White girls out on the town, y'all.
Evening, we know there are injuries. We know there are people that are in the water. There is a search and rescue operation with the New York City Fire Department underway, and we will, of course, be updating you.
Well, what's up, fellas? What do y'all think about these white girls, man? Y'all like these white girls, man? These glider queens,
throughout
man?
The newscast. We have eyewitness accounts.
She's a little colorful. She's spicy.
More to show.
Latina and shit.
More video to show you. It is pretty frightening and something that you have to see to believe. Arthur, we'll send it back to you.
I have a question. When you get Jack or another witness, it looked like there might have been people on the mast. So if you talk to Jack again, can you find out if he saw people who were actually on the mast as it was pulling out from Pier 17? Because that would obviously affect the number of people who are hurt on that vessel. And then the other, if you could take a look at the Brooklyn Bridge, does it look like the distance from the water to the bridge is taller in the middle, or is it
Welcome back, everyone. It's a topic that's rarely talked about, especially in rap music. But Compton-born and raised artist YG is now opening up about his experience with sexual assault when he was just a teenager. The revelation comes in his new single called 2004. The lyrics are vulnerable, uncomfortable, and mostly honest. The rapper sat down exclusively with our Roxy Diaz this Mental Health Awareness Month to discuss how he turned that painful memory into music. and his public transformation as he breaks free from the box he says society placed him in.
Hitmaker and storyteller, Grammy-nominated rapper YG burst on the scene 15 years ago, since dropping iconic songs like Who Do You Love? And Big Bank. But on his latest...
Don't forget Meet the Flockers, man. Meet the Flockers, man.
Single 2004, the California-born and raised artist is getting more real, raw, and vulnerable than ever, rapping about something rarely talked about in hip-hop.
Got took advantage of, and I liked it, so what? Y'all call that sex abuse? I just thought she was doing some cool.
So you just recently came out with a song, 2004, where you discussed some very personal experiences. You say that you were sexually assaulted as a child by an older woman. What prompted you to start speaking about that?
I'm going through this coming of age. Like, I'm in this new space in my life, and I'm like, all right, how this gonna reflect with the music?
In 2004, Kenan Daquan Ray Jackson, known by his stage name YG, reveals for the first time that he was sexually abused by a 30-year-old woman when he was 14 years old.
I'm in the studio, a producer named Jay Pounds. He like, yeah, so you gotta talk about something you ain't never talked about. You gotta dig deep. He like, yeah, what's something that you ain't never told nobody that don't nobody know? And then the beat was playing, and I was like,
when I was young, I got raped.
And then I was like, Bob, twice my age. And everybody was like, what?
At what age did you comprehend that what happened to you was sexual assault?
When it happened, like, I wasn't thinking about it, or like, it wasn't like a thing like that. It was like, oh, I just did some with an older woman. Like, it's lit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then as you grow up and then you start thinking about, you go through life and you see stuff and you learn stuff. It's like, no, that was, man, I got raped.
In 2012, the Department of Justice redefined the criminal definition of rape for the first time since 1927 to include male victims, including those unable to give consent due to age. Studies have found 1 in 20 boys under the age of 18 experience sexual assault. And of those reported to police, 93% of predators were known to the victim.
Like, everybody got their story, and it's just, that's why I made the record, to get to influence people to tell their stories, you know what I'm saying? Especially like coming from an artist, somebody like me, is unexpected.
YG, short for you.
Nah, I'm just over here because I want to get this. I want to start streaming from this channel. The main channel didn't get a strike, and I'm just over here streaming from this channel because, you know, I want to get away from that channel. That channel has 10,000 videos, 1,500 live streams on it. It's so much stuff on that channel that I feel like the algorithm is doing me dirty over there, man, because I got so much content over there, man. I probably got more content than most people, man. So I just want to get on. I just want to start with a fresh channel. This channel doesn't have much on it. This channel probably got like 20 videos on it. It's a humble brag, man. This nigga ain't get right. This a humble brag, man. When you in the hood and you 14 and you had sex with a 30-year-old woman, that ain't no rape. That's what's up. This nigga a humble bragging, man. I can't believe they fell for that shit. They fell for that shit. Goofy ass ABC fell for this nigga's humble brag, man. Press 1, man.
Young gangsta hails from Compton, where he joined a gang at 16, a reality he doesn't shy away from in his music.
People put me in the box. They know us as gang members and we from the streets and all this, you feel me? So they look at us like, oh, we gang members, we animals, we not human, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, I'm human. I go through real life stuff outside of the street stuff.
As a child, was there an adult that you ever opened up to, that you told what happened to you? Did you feel comfortable enough to say that to an adult, or did you keep it inside?
He told everybody on the block. He told every single person. He told all the niggas in school. He told everybody on the block. Come on, man. What the hell are we talking about? The hell are we talking about, man? This nigga ain't no victim, man. This nigga ain't no victim, man. He got some ass from a 30-year-old, man. And now he gonna talk about how he got some ass from a 30-year-old when he was 14. Okay, great, man. I ain't knocking you, man. Salute to you, man. But let's stop acting like you some victim, nigga. You was the man, nigga. You said that when you told everybody that around the way, you was the man. You was that nigga. You was that nigga. You was that nigga. You was that nigga. Let's stop this shit. Listen to him.
For a long time.
I kept it inside. My family, first time hearing about that was when the record came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
YG says he shared the song with other men. He was surprised to hear their reaction.
Because 90% of the people I played it for, the males, they all got similar stories. That was the conversation everybody was having. It was like, yeah, like, I was sexually abused. And it's like, yeah, but for us, we men, so it ain't treated the same way.
He hopes he can use his platform to break the silence around the issue of sexual abuse of young men and shift the narrative.
I hope that you realize how strong that message is that you put out there and how.
Jesus Christ, man. Oh, Lord. Now, I do think there's a certain age. I just think 14 ain't it. I think there's a certain age where, yeah, you can be sexually abused. But 14, nah. 14 isn't it. Unless it's something you don't like. Unless she, like, toss your salad. If she give you some booty head or something, yeah, she sexually abused you at 14. Like, bitch, you give me some booty head, bitch. I don't want no booty head at 14. But if she, giving you some ass and sucking you off, that's not no abuse at 16. No way. Especially if you a gangster, man. Especially if you a gangster, man. Yeah, man. YG look crazy, man. I don't know what the fuck he on, man. I don't know what the fuck YG on here, man.
How you gave other people courage to be able to speak up and say it's okay because YG went through it. Maybe it wasn't okay. I could tell an adult. I hope you know that power because that's really a big deal.
YG believes his upcoming album, The Gentleman's Club, dropping this summer, will bring a new era in his career, humanizing him.
People say I live crazy, like I live like a wild life, a dangerous life or whatever. Like I talk about that and I give it to you straight like that. You know what I'm saying? That been my thing. So now me going through this growing stage of my life, it ain't hard for me because it's like I'm telling my truth. It is what it is.
The intention of this album is to mark a new chapter.
If he would have got sexually assaulted by a man, who think he would have said something? Who think he would have said something if he got sexually assaulted by a man? Who think he would have said something, man? Kanye said something. Look at they roasted Kanye, man. They roasted Kanye. Kanye say, what he say? He was. I didn't even hear that shit, Kanye. I just heard it secondhand. I heard it secondhand. I just heard secondhand, man. Oh, all right. Let's move along, man. Let's move along. I'm trying to get this. Man, make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Hit the like button too, man. And if you're not a mod, man, if you want to be a mod, man, let me make sure I mod people up on this channel, man. Let me see something, man. You want to be a mod, man. Press 9 if you want to be a mod, man. Press 9 if you want to be a mod.
This program contains references to sexual assault and may be distressing.
I am on my way to Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. It's a city on the brink, close to falling under the complete control of armed gangs.
When seated, keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence.
The international airport is closed to commercial airlines after passenger jets were shot at. So I land 200 kilometers away in the city of Cap-Haïtien.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cap-Haïtien. The local time is 9:10 a.m.
From here, I'll hitch a ride on a helicopter run by the World Food Programme.
These go here and here.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. This aircraft has been hit with gunfire twice in the past. So, not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to relay the urgency of unloading and loading. Okay, Pat, we're ready.
Armed gangs control the roads into Port-au-Prince. So we touch down on a field in one of the few remaining pockets of the city not yet overrun. I've come here to meet the gang leaders responsible for the violence that's displaced 1 million Haitians. And last year, left more than 5,000 dead.
That's the leader, man. That's the gang leader here, man. We haven't seen nothing about Haiti in a while, man. I don't want to watch that one. Let's see Haiti. Everybody hit the like button, man. We slow walking it tonight, man. I'm gonna drop the link soon, man. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it, man. I'm gonna drop the link soon, man. Damn. Prison from hell. Let's do this week. Haiti, man. Oh wow. All them Kenyan officers getting the fuck out of there, man.
Haitian gangs fighting to extend their control over the capital, Port-au-Prince. Most of the weapons they're using were brought into the country from the United States. Gang members say these ones were given to them by politicians.
Haiti is on the way to a civil war. There
on the way.
Too many weapons in the country. This situation started with politicians years ago. When there were elections, candidates came with weapons and money to popular neighborhoods, so people voted for them. Then they leave and the weapons stay with us.
And the weapons continue to flow in, allowing gangs to extend their control across the country. The UN says it made it easier for them to outgun security forces. The smuggled weapons, the report says, are mostly being shipped from ports in Florida.
Florida's gun laws are considered to be more lenient if compared to many other states. And even though there are some restrictions, many of the weapons that end up in Haiti were purchased in the state.
The shops on display in this gun show in Miami-Dade allow U.S. citizens and residents to purchase as many guns they want, although a 3-day background check is required in some cases.
These are AR-15s. These are some of the weapons that have been sent to Haiti.
Investigators say the weapons are smuggled back to Haiti in large quantities.
Once guns leave a gun store, they become very hard to stop. Haiti and other Caribbean countries, guns wrapped up in plastic and boxes of cereal or other products. So it becomes really difficult to stop. In Haiti, you've got problems where the gangs control some of the ports.
Armed groups in Haiti have made significant gains in the first part of 2025. A UN-backed mission and the police unable to stop them. There seems to be no control over the supply of guns, despite a United Nations arms embargo imposed 3 years ago.
It's difficult to hold the gun industry accountable in the United States because it's so politically powerful. They've gone to Congress and gotten special laws to protect them. Basic standards of civil justice don't apply to the gun industry. And then there are states like Florida that have protection laws even beyond the federal law, which make it doubly difficult.
The ease of access.
Yeah, man. It's fucked up over there, man. All right, man. Let's get the show popping, man. Let's get the show started, man.
To New Orleans now, and a demand for answers following the escape of 10 hardened criminals. Surveillance video at the jail captured the brazen breach. CBS's Katie Weiss is in New Orleans with the latest. It almost sounds like something out of a movie, Katie.
Oh, absolutely, Jerika. Good evening. That's definitely a way to characterize what happened here. That escape now has hundreds of officers searching even across state lines on an exhaustive manhunt.
Heads need to roll.
Outrage is growing in New Orleans after 10 inmates made a daring prison break early Friday morning. They managed to break through a cell wall by removing a toilet, leading them to a loading dock and freedom. It was 7 hours before anyone noticed they were gone. No deputy was on duty, only a civilian employee was there at the time.
When she stepped away to grab food, that is when they began their attempts to escape.
3 prison guards have now been suspended. New Orleans City Council.
So she stepped away to grab food. It must have been a sister, man. Sister just up there eating all day. She in work. She at work, supposed to be watching these dudes. She eating all day, eating sunflower seeds and shit. Eat a whole bag of sunflower seeds because she trying to lose weight and shit. That's like a diet for them. The whole bag of salty ass sunflower seeds. The whole bag, too. Want to eat the entire bag.
She stepped away to grab food. That is when they began their attempts to escape.
3 prison guards have now been suspended. New Orleans City Councilman Oliver Thomas.
And I think the sheriff should lead in making sure that people are prosecuted who were negligent or complicit or in cooperation with the folk who escaped.
The inmates wrote taunting parting messages, including "too easy, LOL."
They were then observed scaling the fence using blankets to avoid being cut by the barbed wire.
Governor Jeff Landry posting on social media, quote, 3 down, 7 to go. Lock them up. State police captured Robert Moody, Kendall Miles, and DeKeenan Dennis, and today used a helicopter to bring them to another Louisiana prison.
Our number one mission, despite anything else right now, is to get these people in custody.
And even though this prison was rebuilt in 2015, the sheriff's office is also pointing blame on the city for failing to pay for what they say were needed fixes to faulty locks. Jarika.
So 7 men, 7 of them still on the loose. It's cracking, man.
Breaking news as 7 inmates are still on the run tonight as multiple law enforcement agencies try to track them down. 10 in total, remember, escaped from the Orleans Parish Jail. 3 have been caught. But take a look. These 7 are still on the run tonight, and deputies are asking you to please beware of your surroundings and call Crime Stoppers if you see any one of these men. WDSU reporter Jasmine Franklin has been responding to scenes alongside law enforcement all day long today. Jasmine, as they track down every single lead.
Elizabeth, tonight hundreds of law enforcement personnel are spread out across our area, continuing their search for those 7 remaining escapees, and they say they will continue to track every single lead until they find them.
There's no telling what, inmate on the loose is capable of.
The manhunt for the 7 remaining escapees continues, with state and federal agencies pouring resources into the search for the suspects still on the loose.
Knowing that they still got some out the loose, you definitely got to be careful. Watch how you keep your head on the swivel.
At least 200 law enforcement personnel are helping in this urgent search to find the escaped prisoners, and it is all hands on deck.
I was really surprised to see them running out the door like that.
It's crazy how all of them was just able to get out in that timely manner.
Law enforcement is in full force across our area. This video shows a large police presence in New Orleans East on Cindy Place around 3 p.m. Multiple sheriff's office and state police crews were there, along with SWAT teams who had weapons drawn as they conducted their search. No one was arrested in this incident, and we don't know if this is connected to the search for the 7 remaining escapees, but this just shows how serious law enforcement is, taking every single tip, tracking down every single lead.
Come on back, give themselves up, because eventually they're gonna get caught.
And the multi-agency search is not just within parish lines. The St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Office is joining in, helping in the investigation to bring the escapees back to jail.
It's crucial that our efforts to capture these guys.
Wow. Each day these guys stay on the lam, that's another day closer. They gonna get to having a movie written about them, man. One day, man. Because they've been gone. Usually they catch the guys by now, man. They catch the guys by now. But it's been a week. It's been a while. They haven't caught these guys, man. That's alarming. Let's see. Let's see what's happening out here, man. And they don't want link in the description box, man. Shout out to Deluxe 247, aka Calvary, aka the Real MVP coming through once again. Excuse me. They put the link in the description box too. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Everybody subscribe to this channel, man. Subscribe to this channel as well. This is the channel that we're gonna be doing live streams on from now on, man. We're gonna be doing live streams on this channel from now on, man. Excuse me. We're gonna be doing live streams on this channel from now on. This is the channel, man, because I still post videos on the other one, but this is the channel, man. Salute to everybody out there, man. Link in the description box, man. Y'all want to come up, man. Talk about it. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, I want the wrong channel. I was wondering what the hell was going on. I'm on the wrong damn channel. On my back. Let's see. Give me a city, man. Give me a city, man. Shout out to Malik Quelly. He says 9 Nina Nueve. You want to be a mod, man. Is you a mod? Did I mod you up? Shout out to Tracy Jones, man. He said, can't seem to get this anywhere else. Yeah, man, we about to get into it now. I just had to slow walk it, man, because let the Jacksonville, Florida. That's a great place to start, man. Jacksonville. That's a great place to start. That's a great place to start, man. Bunch of goddamn apes down there, man. Let's see here.
Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, stolen checks, stolen credit cards, identity theft. It's just the tip of the iceberg, according to a Nassau County detective who's working a major financial fraud investigation.
There could be upwards to maybe 50 different victims. Once reviewing the evidence in the case, it was discovered there was over 20 fraudulent checks, and those checks were all forged.
The investigation has led to the arrest of 29-year-old Perez Hall Jr. of Illinois.
Hall is currently facing a list of financial fraud charges, with more charges looming, including federal charges. News4Jax reporter Eric Avenue joining us live to explain how investigators cracked this case. Eric?
Well, Joy, what began as an investigation into a stolen piece of mail containing a check worth $18,000 has now morphed into a much larger investigation into a suspected financial fraud operation with many victims.
Last September, the Nassau County Sheriff's Office began investigating a financial fraud case after a victim reported the $18,000 check that he had mailed to an auto finance company in Pennsylvania never arrived at its destination. According to this arrest warrant, 8 days after he put the check in the mail, the check was deposited into a bank account that was traced back to 29-year-old Perez Hall Jr. of Belleville, Illinois. Detective Hunter Owens was able to confirm that before the check was stolen, it arrived at this U.S. Postal Service package distribution center in Jacksonville.
It could have been stolen inside of the post office. It could have been delivered and intercepted in a mailbox or something like that. Typically, these types of checks get sold on either the dark web marketplace or the thief that stole the mail just uses it for their advantage.
The investigation revealed that Hall had presumably uploaded stolen financial information into his iCloud storage account. After investigators obtained a search warrant on the storage account, they said they found files containing forged, blank, and incomplete checks, elements to create checks, images of credit card and credit card numbers that presumably belonged to other people, online banking login credentials that did not belong to Hall, and identification documents and social security numbers that presumably belonged to other people. They also say they found written instructions on how to file.
Wow. Something, man, they're getting into white collar crime now. Woo! We getting into white collar crime. Watch out now. Watch out now.
Tonight on
Jacksonville always gives you good stuff, man. Salute to Jacksonville, man. Let's see if they give us some good stuff, man, tonight. Yeesh. 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 Ain't really a whole lot going on in Jacksonville. Give me another city, man. Give me another city, man. Salute, man. Give me another city, man. Fisherman in the back. Give me another city. Shout out to Gouch Malo, man. Gouch Malo was the first one here today, man. Shout out to Gouch, man. Salute to Brian, man. Brian say challenge accepted, man. Yeah, man. Give me another city, man. Jacksonville slow tonight. Wow. Milwaukee, we did Milwaukee and Dallas the other day, but hey, why not, man? Atlanta, there we go. Atlanta, there we go. Atlanta. Fisherman, what's up?
Nothing. Just been boat shopping.
Oh, yeah?
Mobile's been popping off pretty good the past couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah? What you buying a boat to fish?
Yeah. Getting a different something.
A big boat, like a motorboat, right?
Yeah.
How many feet?
16.
Oh, okay. Something.
Middle sized.
Yeah. Okay. I got one of my wife's friends, her son. He been fishing like since he was like 8. He got all the fucking hooks and shit, all the goddamn rods. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. He goes like on treats and shit, fishing and shit with other kids and shit. That shit is crazy, man. That shit is like a lifestyle, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah, definitely. His dad spends a whole lot of money on it. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. And I'm sure fisherman spends a whole lot of money on it. How much a year you spend on fishing? Give us a
It's probably, I mean, it's less than 3,000, I'd say.
Oh, less than, but you already got everything, right? You got You got all.
Yeah, I've got pretty much most of what I need.
So you at the height of it, when you were like, coming of age in it, how much you spend a year?
Probably not much more than that. I buy stuff slow. You know what I mean? Like I don't run out and just spend like $5,000 on something because I feel like it. Maybe like 4 or 5.
You know how to fly fish?
Yeah, but I don't really do that much.
Yeah, I saw this guy fly fishing in the river in my house the other day. We got a river behind where I live at. Guy was fly fishing over there, man. That shit looked fucking tiring, man. It looked, you know what I'm saying? It looked like
It's real busy. It's a lot going on. And then you got to be somewhere where you got room to get your motion going and the line can get all messed up. It's just, I mean, if I'm fishing like on a boat and I got no trees around or whatever, and I can, do it that way, it's fine. But I don't like doing it from the bank or wading unless I'm in the bay.
He was just standing in there doing that shit. So it's like the fish can see the flies and the fish hunt the flies.
Yeah, I used to tie my own flies too.
That shit is crazy. Fish that can hunt flies. That shit is insane, man. And humans found a way to take advantage of that shit.
Police tell us medics rushed that boy to the hospital where he is in critical condition. News Edge reporter Rob D'Arienzo is live at the apartment complex where this happened. Rob, do we know yet what all went down, how this all happened?
Well, Christine, Tom, good evening to you both. We're still trying to piece all of this together tonight. You can see police on scene here behind me. This actually happened earlier this evening at this apartment complex right across the street from me. That 10-year-old boy struck in the head. Police have since wrapped up their investigation over there and have turned their focus over to this bush over here where we saw police just pull out something, what we believe was a firearm. Just a couple moments ago, the CSI team came over here, started taking photographs, and pulled out again what we believe was a gun. I want to show you what this scene was looking like earlier this evening here inside the Town Square apartment complex. This is in Southeast Atlanta along Hank Aaron Drive, just by GSU's Center Park Stadium. Police say they got the call around 6:30 tonight, and when they got here, they found that 10-year-old boy with a single gunshot wound to the head. Medics then rushed that boy to the hospital. I spoke with neighbors who watched medics carry him out on a stretcher to the ambulance.
I stay above him, so when I saw him rolling out on the bed, it was just crazy. Stuff like that can scar you for life.
What is this shit? I thought we was leaving this shit in 2024. When did this shit become a thing? The hair on the fucking forehead. Jesus Christ, that shit is so annoying. And then she don't even got it gel down. She got it dry and shit. It's like, oh God.
Hers seems like more than normal. It's covering most of her forehead.
It's horrible. I hate that, man. Shout out to Douglas Chunks, man. He says this channel doesn't appear to be set up for memberships yet. It doesn't appear to be set up for memberships. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that probably tomorrow, man. Probably tomorrow I'll do that shit. Set it up for memberships. I gotta set the memberships up differently over here. Yeah, man. Cause they don't let you modify it once you set up the memberships. You stuck with that forever. Golly, man, what the fuck is this? Jesus, she blew the shit out of me, man.
So when I saw him rolling out on the bed, it was just crazy. Stuff like that can scar you for life.
Soon I came outside, they were just like, he was shot. I was like, who? They were like, the little boy Messiah. I was like, oh, they crazy. I was like, what he got shot at? They were like, the head. I was like, damn.
And then I went to the gas station, got a soda and bought that shit with my money. Want my ass home.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, man.
This is like the hood version of New Guy.
It's just normal shit, man. This is normal shit, man. Like just normal people, regular people, man. These are just regular people, man. In the hood.
Outside, they were just like, he was shot. I was like, who? They were like, the little boy Messiah. I was like, oh, they crazy. I was like, where he got shot at? They were like, the head. I was like, damn.
Tonight, APD's aggravated assault unit is taking the lead on the investigation. They say that investigation is very active. There's no word right now on any arrests. And of course, the biggest questions right now are how this happened and if it was intentional. Again, back out here live, police just pulled out what we believe to be a firearm right from that bush. They placed it into an evidence container and carried it away very carefully. Again, that little boy is still in the hospital at last check in critical condition, fighting for his life after being shot in the head here at this apartment complex in Southeast Atlanta. We're going to continue.
The most watched news in the Mid-South.
He up there fighting his life every day. That's why I'm here every day, because my son can't speak for himself. My son can't feed himself. And the only thing he can do is lay up there in the bed and look at me, look at the TV, look at me.
Amantha's father is pleading for help after his teenage son was shot and is now paralyzed. The shooting happened in February in South Memphis.
Now, that 17-year-old has been at Regional 1 ever since, and that's where we find Fox 13's Carolyn Surt alive tonight. Carolyn, that's more than 3 months that this teen has been in a hospital bed, laying there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Daryl and Darcy. So Jamion Washington should be preparing to graduate from Hamilton High next week. Instead, since February 6th, he has been here at Regional 1 undergoing surgeries, going through complications and setbacks ever since he was shot. His father says 6 times in the back, leaving him paralyzed.
The incident left my son as a incomplete quadriplegic. That means he could only move from here up, and he barely have any motor functions in his hands at all.
James Washington has been by his son Jamion's side since February, when he says the 17-year-old was shot in the back by his own cousin.
His life been completely altered. All of our lives.
Memphis police say the two were talking on Vall Avenue when 20-year-old Devontae Watson Matthew suddenly opened fire.
One of the bullets actually hit his C6 or C7 vertebrae and shattered it.
Washington immediately flew in from Florida, where he currently lives, and hasn't gone back in order to care for Jamion.
That's why I'm here every day, because my son can't speak for himself. My son can't feed himself. Everything within my fibers is saying, Lord, put me over there. Put me over there. Let him walk. Let him enjoy his life. I don't live life. You know, my thing is him. I'm sorry. He's so smart. He was just about to graduate from Hamilton High School, and he said he wanted to go for real estate.
Washington says Jamion was living with his grandmother to finish high school. Now he is lying in a hospital bed, and after multiple surgeries and setbacks, the bills are piling up.
Because I don't have it. I don't have it. I'm fighting back right now, but I don't have it, and I'm scared.
Washington says while he is struggling to keep the family financially afloat, he still has hope for Jamion's recovery and future.
These kids need to know about stuff, man. They out here doing these crimes and hurting one another. But at the same time, look, he up there fighting his life every day.
And Washington has set up a GoFundMe account, hoping to raise some money to help pay for these medical bills. If you would like to help, we have posted that link inside of this story on our website, fox13memphis.com.
That is Fox 13's Carolyn Serter reporting tonight. Thank you.
Living with grandma.
More about the person who died in a church collapse this afternoon. Family confirming with First Alert 4, Patricia Pendleton lost her life while sheltering from the tornado. She was inside Centennial Christian Church in North St. Louis when it partially collapsed. Our David Emilati spoke to Pendleton's
In the
family.
church. Wow.
I got to speak with Pat's husband, Harry, who spoke with so much love and pain. He says that they were just a couple of months away from celebrating 56 years of marriage. He says his wife did everything at Centennial Christian Church except sleep. The church, after the storm, the roof caved in, the door blown out. The steeple was actually twice its height, but now it's just rubble here on the front lawn. The people here that I spoke with this afternoon simply are devastated, saying there was no one else like Pat.
Amazing servant of God in his church.
That's Reverend Derek Perkins, stunned, speaking on camera to First Alert 4 on behalf of Patricia Pendleton's family.
Right now, we're just saddened. Our hearts are broken about all of this.
She was one of the first people that I met in service here.
Ward 10 Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard attends Centennial Christian and says losing Pat in the church collapse is devastating.
She gave selflessly. It wasn't about, look at me, I'm doing this. It wasn't about, make sure you note that I'm doing this. Everything she did, you could tell was from her heart.
We were there as first responders rushed supplies to the injured in the partial church collapse, while others worked to clear fallen beams and rubble to reach those trapped inside. Another loss for this Fountain Park community is the destruction of the church. It stood at the corner of Auburn and Fountain for more than 121 years.
This community always rides together, and the church is a critical piece in this community.
Harry tells me that his wife was here at church as early as 11 a.m. on Friday, getting ready to serve lunches. They served dozens of meals a day for folks who needed a meal before the storms rolled in. The damage, as you can see, is extensive. It's unclear how long it's going to take to clean up all of this. But what I am told by
You're muted.
Well, Sunday was meant for celebration, but instead it ended in an unimaginable heartbreak. A St. Louis family is now mourning the loss of a young mother taken by gun violence on a day already heavy with emotion for them. Fox 2's Taylor Harris joins us now live with more details. Taylor.
Yes, Mandy, it was a tragic Mother's Day here in St. Louis. A 24-year-old mother, Jordy Hately, was shot and killed in the Ville neighborhood Sunday evening. Her family says not only did she die on Mother's Day, but she died on the date marked for her late mother's birthday. Police say they responded to a shooting in the 4400 block of Moffett just after 7:30 p.m. Sunday night.
When officers arrived on scene, they found a female who had been shot multiple times inside of a car. Firefighters and paramedics responded. They did everything they could, but unfortunately, this woman lost her life last night.
Jory was a devoted mom to her 3-year-old son, Nasir. At the time of the shooting, Janiyah said that her little sister and nephew were inside the car with Jory. Her brother was right behind them in a separate car. He had been getting a tire fix nearby.
She wasn't even supposed to be in St. Louis. She was supposed to be in Texas, finished getting her degree for college. Like, she was just a good person.
Damn. Came to St. Louis with the family. What the fuck happened? Did y'all hear what happened? Did anybody hear what happened?
No, I missed it. I'm just trying to I'm thinking about the irony of the woman in church, and then the church fucking kills her.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
I mean, I could take an educated guess on what happened.
Yeah, I mean, but like, if she was in college working on a degree, and she was only visiting St. Louis, and she was with her whole family, how did she get killed? Who killed her? Because usually it's the boyfriend or something like that, but she's not from here. Like, it's just bizarre. Let's see if we can figure out what happened.
This woman lost her life last night.
Jory was a devoted mom to her 3-year-old son, Nasir. At the time of the shooting, Janiyah said that her little sister and nephew were inside the car with Jory. Her brother was right behind them in a separate car. He had been getting a tire fix nearby.
She wasn't even supposed to be in St. Louis. She was supposed to be in Texas, finished getting her degree for college. Like, she was just a good person. She ain't deserved it.
As the oldest of 8 siblings, Jory had returned home to help raise her brothers and sisters. Their mother passed away from a heart attack in January 2021. Janiyah says they were planning a summer trip to Chicago for Jory's 25th birthday.
And then my little brother called me, and my little brother was screaming on the phone. And my little brother was like, she was dead. And then when I had pulled up, it was just a crime scene. Like, my little brother and them was crying. My nephew and my sister was, they was in the back of the police car. They wouldn't let me see them. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I passed out like a couple times.
Janiyah was home cooking dinner, expecting Jory and her siblings to celebrate their mother's birthday. Instead, she was met with sirens, yellow tape, and heartbreak. Police says this marks the 42nd homicide in St. Louis this year. And at this time last year, there were 64 homicides. They're urging anyone with information to call.
Yo, so nothing happened. So the family was there. The brother, the nephew, the little sister was there. Are they not snitching or something? Hey, what's going on here? What the fuck happened?
New details tonight in a shooting that left a young mother dead in North City on Mother's Day. Today, police identified the 24-year-old as Jory Hadley. She was found in her car, shot multiple times.
Welcome to the True Crime Vault. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories. Jory Hadley, a young mother and beloved community member, was tragically lost to gun violence on May 11, 2025, in the Ville neighborhood of St. Louis, Missouri, at the age of just 24. Born into a large family, she was the eldest of 8 siblings and took on the role of caretaker and anchor for her brothers and sisters following the cardiac death of their mother in January 2021. This transition marked a significant shift in her life as she returned home to help raise her siblings, stepping into a role both maternal and fiercely protective, a move that earned her immense love and respect within her family and neighborhood. While enduring personal grief, Jory dedicated herself not just to her siblings, but also to her own child, embracing motherhood and community involvement with determination and grace. Jory's devotion extended to her spiritual life. Shortly before her death, she joined the Unfailing Love Christian Church, a congregation in the vicinity of her tragic shooting, seeking solace in a special service and Mother's Day brunch. Church leaders and friends recounted how she had appeared deeply affected during a segment honoring mothers lost. Yet by the end of the event, she was seen smiling and engaging with other families, embodying both grief and resilience. The presence of her young son beside her offered comfort and a symbol of continuity, as Jory strived to create normalcy and happiness for him amidst adversity. Later that evening, at approximately 7:33 p.m., officers from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department were called to the 4400 block of Manfit Avenue following reports of gunshots. Upon arrival, they discovered Halle in a car, critically wounded by multiple gunshots. Despite efforts by emergency responders, she was pronounced dead at the scene. The location was significant, less than a mile from the church he attended that morning and about 6 miles from the home she shared with her siblings. The scene of the shooting was ultimately identified as 1 block away in the 4200 block of Manfit, indicating a violent act that cut short a day devoted to motherhood and remembrance. Neighbors, shocked and devastated, described hearing a rapid succession of 10 to 15 gunshots echoing through the residential streets. An all too familiar sound in a community troubled by chronic gun violence.
5 on your side's Brent Solomon, just back from the Ville neighborhood, speaking with Hadley's church family. Brent.
Kelly, she had just joined the Unfailing Love Christian Church, and she was there for Sunday service with her son. No one ever imagining her life would be cut short just hours later.
I was up all night. I couldn't even sleep.
Between the 44 and 4200 blocks of Maffitt Avenue. As of the latest available reports, no suspects have been named and no motive disclosed publicly. Police statements emphasize that the investigation remained ongoing.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's bizarre, right? That is absolutely bizarre. Jeez.
7:32 right now. The 14-year-old gunman charged in the deadly shooting of an innocent girl is expected to face a judge today.
More arrests expected in this case as the family of the 16-year-old Bronx victim prepares now for her funeral. The shooting really highlighting a growing problem across the city, but especially in the Bronx, of youth violence. Joining us this morning is Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark, who is launching a Youth Justice Bureau to address this very issue. So good morning to you, District Attorney. Great to have you here.
Good morning.
So let's talk first about the case. Has the 14-year-old suspect, I can't believe we're talking about a 14-year-old here, been arraigned yet? And if not, when do you expect that to happen?
Well, he's up for arraignment today. He hasn't been arraigned, but, you know, my heart goes out to this family.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
from
my
the moment.
God. What's up with the glasses? What's up with these sisters in these powerful positions in these Party City glasses?
Just when you spend all your life in the books, you know, your vision goes out and you got to get some saucy glasses to let them know you know what the fuck you talking about. Know what I'm saying?
I just don't get how they don't see how inappropriate they are.
Yeah.
They think they got to be unique.
Y'all just can't handle
When it happened, my
strong
officer said,
chocolate
I was-
queen.
Right.
Glasses
I mean-
have to match the lipstick.
I mean, it's like some people, right? Like some men that want to wear like the dreads or braids and all this shit. It's like you don't see white boys coming in with a mullet. It would be inappropriate, dude.
Right. Yeah. Especially for a front-facing, high-profile. Like, she's the district attorney for the Bronx. Like, but and listen, I'll give her a pass, as these aren't shaped different than glasses.
Right.
I'm sure I can just imagine the lecture she'll give on the Crown Act.
Right. But the thing is, what I just said, some like liberal POCs would argue that, well, you're looking at it from a Western viewpoint, right? As if that viewpoint hasn't been successful.
Exactly. The West, like they act like the West, everything is bad about the West, except for TV, electricity, trains, cars, refrigeration. But everything else is.
I mean, look, it goes without saying, but the America, right? Historically, their military, the uniformity of it, right? Men coming in with these like buzz cuts, right? All coming in looking like no one's trying to stand out. You don't stand out here.
No.
You come here, you kill, and you die, motherfucker.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see what she got to say, man. Let's give her a chance, man.
Was there so many elected officials, the mayor, police commissioner? You know, this has to stop. Too many families I've met in this situation.
Yeah, we hear the ages and we just can't believe it. But we understand that he was arrested because of surveillance video. You were able to see that video?
Well, that's all part of the evidence. There's an ongoing investigation still because he's apprehended. We're looking for others, but that's part of the evidence that we have to use now in order to make the case.
What were you able to see on that video, if you're able to tell us?
No, well, you know, there was a fight in the schoolyard, and, you know, you see the shooting and you see kids running for their lives, and, you know, that she was struck and killed.
Yeah, she just happened to be riding by on a scooter, wrong place, wrong time, right?
Yes.
And you're looking to make other arrests. How many more people are you looking for?
Well, that remains to be seen. I know at least one other person, but, you know, the investigation is continuing.
Okay.
And there are so many shootings lately. There's like 114 incidents involving young people in the Bronx?
Well, you know, the numbers vary, but I mean, right now we've had 3 homicides in the Bronx so far with youth involved and at least 10 other victims, and, you know, non-fatal shootings. So, you know, it's increasing. It's a real concern. We're losing a generation of our young people. Either they're the victims of the violence or they're the ones that are being accused of the violence.
But why do you think this is happening?
You know, there's a lot of things that are involved. We need to engage our kids more. You know, we need to do more on the preventive side so they don't end up with me. This is the last resort now. When you end up in front of the DA, that's not a good thing, you know, and we have to get justice for these victims. These young people, they endanger the whole community, not just the other kids, but seniors, people just walking down the street. People are being hit and killed because of this senseless violence. They have no concern for human life.
Where are a 14-year-old? Where are they getting the gun?
That's the other thing that we're looking into. Each and every time we have one of these cases, we're also investigating, where are these guns coming from? How can kids end up with guns in their hands? We used to fight in schoolyards with your hands. That was it. No guns were involved, you know. You're in your house, your home, your families. My parents, you know, they would stop and frisk in my house. Like my parents made sure nothing came into
Look
the
at all
house
those
that they
son kids in
didn't
those
buy
videos.
for us, and nothing went out. And, you know, we have to engage parents, give them the resources so that when they need help, that we can get it to them.
Hey, man, she don't sound half bad, right?
I mean, I don't believe her. I don't believe shit she says.
Did she even answer anything? Oh, we don't know. I mean, we
like,
don't know.
There are no solutions, though.
That's true, but
she didn't. But she didn't say like rec centers and midnight basketball. She didn't say no goofy shit.
Yeah. Hey, did the reporter in the beginning say, "I can't believe we're talking about a 14-year-old"?
Yeah, she's
Someone,
amazing.
don't you report the news?
Yeah,
have you been sleeping on the job, bro?
Exactly. Let's see, man. Let's see what else is going on, man.
We're going to turn now to a shooting that claimed the life of a 16-year-old.
Derek Palmer was shot in the head inside his home after police say a friend playing with the gun pulled the trigger. Palmer later died at the hospital. He was a student at John F. Kennedy High School in Wheaton. News 4's Dominique Moody has the victim's father's urgent plea to the community.
These videos show how full of life 16-year-old Derek Palmer was around those who knew and loved him.
He was very respectful. He wasn't like a lot of the kids you see today.
Palmer was a student athlete at John F. Kennedy High School with a knack for finding the end zone on the football field, like in this video.
He was a smart, bright kid. He loved playing football, had dreams of playing football in college. He loved to work out, play video games, and enjoy his friends and family.
Derek's father, Quentin Palmer, says his time with his son meant the world to him because of the relationship they built through the years.
You know, he's my son. He was kind of, in some ways, like my little brother, like the nephew that for some reasons for a long time I didn't have.
Derek's life was cut short on Saturday afternoon inside his Beltsville home. Police say he was shot by a childhood friend who was visiting from out of town. The shot fired inside Derek's bedroom. He was then airlifted to a hospital where he died. Prince George's County Police arrested and charged 18-year-old Kimari Kamara with manslaughter. Investigators say Kamara was playing with a gun before firing the weapon, striking Palmer in the head. Court documents say Kamara told police that he, quote, pointed the gun in the direction of Palmer and believed the handgun did not have a round in the chamber and pulled the trigger. News 4 learned that police recovered 3 guns in the bedroom, including 1 ghost gun. Quentin Palmer says he left the house 30 minutes before the fatal shot was fired and issued this plea to other parents.
Always be aware of who your kids are hanging with and the things that they're involved in. Make sure your kids are safe and that you know where they're going and what they're doing. And sometimes you're just never too tough.
In a statement, the John F. Kennedy coaching staff says, quote, Derek was more than just a player. He was a brother to his teammates, a young man of tremendous character, heart, and determination.
He was everything to me. I just had so many hopes and dreams for him.
In Beltsville, Dominique Moody, News 4.
Kamara faces manslaughter and other gun-related charges. He's being held without bond.
Because I always say this, I did too much for these people. And if I gotta go, they can go with me too.
Neighbors are stunned. A home gutted by flames, and several people are dead.
Just to know, what happened to them.
That was another story. Salute to Big Larry. Hey, JT Roof, you in the back, but you can't come up because your device is not connected, so you can't come back. This story was crazy right here. I might say this. I gotta do this one day. That story was bananas. I remember when that happened. Hey, that murder. Okay. Here we go.
To a break in the case of Rolex robberies on Miami Beach, a woman charged in 2 different incidents after spraying her victims and swiping their watches right off their wrists. That suspect facing a judge in bond court this morning.
And let's get right over to Local 10's Rosh Lowe. He's joining us live with the very latest on the suspect who was captured. Rosh.
It's happened again. This time, according to an arrest report, this guy who was going to Club Live meets this woman in the lobby, goes up to his hotel room, 34th floor. Next thing you know, he's temporarily blind without his Rolex. He gives chase, falls to the ground, and Miami Beach police say this woman behind a number of cases.
It's charged as robbery with a weapon, and the weapon is the
whatever liquid that she sprayed in the victims' faces.
Here she is. Take a look at Esther Torres. She's in bond court on armed robbery charges. Miami Beach.
What's going on with this one, man? We knocking this one down or what, man?
Hell no. Yo, Ike, this reminds me. Do you remember the sister with the green yoga outfit?
Yeah,
Chicago?
yeah.
You know she got locked up again?
Really? It's on the news?
Yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the bag. I think it's on Facebook, right? But I guess she likes those kind of outfits, man. That's her thing.
Yeah, she want an orange one.
Whatever liquid that she sprayed in the victims' faces.
Here she is. Take a look at Esther Torres. She's in bond court on armed robbery charges. Miami Beach police have charged her in 2 separate cases where they say she sprays men, temporarily blinding them, and steals their high-end watches.
on that case, it is no bond. And in that case, you're to have no contact with the victim.
Let's start at the Breakwater Hotel in South Beach, March 26. Police say an international tourist takes the suspect back to his room. Cops say she pepper sprays him and takes his Hugo Boss watch and wallet.
Do you understand the extent, again, of that no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's go to March 30th. A man says he was sprayed with an unknown liquid in his eyes and his 2020 Rolex Submariner, like this one here taken. The value more than 22 grand. Cops say she has an identifying tattoo. Mid-April, they pulled over a car they say she got into following one of the robberies. They arrested a guy and she actually responded to the scene. Following this, police were able to put out a need to identify flyer and realized she was the woman who responded to the traffic stop. They were able to track her down yesterday. She's not talking, wanting a lawyer. Now she's behind bars, no bond. We see so many of these cases, especially recently. Coming up tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock, I'll tell you about another very similar case. The bottom line, you got to be very careful about who you're bringing to your room. This woman, as I mentioned there in the story, she's behind bars, no bond. We're live on Miami Beach. I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10 News.
Yeah, man, it's very dangerous spraying people.
Yeah. Yo, check the link I put in the bag, though. At least for you.
All right. Let's see what else is going on out here, man. Let's see what's going on. Oh, wow.
We want to thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Keith Garvin. My co-anchor Daniela Guzman is off tonight.
Big Larry in the building.
KPRC2 has just obtained surveillance video showing the disturbing moments before a contractor's body was found at a Harris County home. This all unfolded around 11:15 this morning at the suspect's girlfriend's home on Tim Allen Court. That is near Walters Road and Briar Chase Drive in Northwest Harris County. The suspect was captured at his second scene. KPRC2's Corley Peel is at the home sharing what witnesses are saying. Corley.
Keith, I spoke with a neighbor who says he heard yelling coming from the home earlier this morning, but he's never imagined something deadly might happen. He also says that this entire neighborhood is shaken up. Now, investigators say this is a murder investigation, but the motive is unclear at this time. Detectives say something happened inside that home. The suspect left, then eventually came back. Now, I want you to take a look at the surveillance video that we obtained. This shows what appears to be the contractor's truck. Investigators say the suspect came back to the home in the contractor's truck with a man who volunteered to help move furniture. The video appears to show two men moving a heavy box out of the garage, and the box appears to drop to the ground. Detectives say once the volunteer noticed there was a body inside, he got back in the truck and drove off. The suspect appears to jump on the back of the truck, and investigators say the suspect eventually started breaking the windows, trying to get back in and trying to get that witness to stop. They eventually crashed into a vehicle, and 911 callers reported a suspicious person. The suspect was found bleeding and taken to the hospital. Now, I did speak with that neighbor who lives next door. He says the suspect's girlfriend lives at that home. She was at work at the time. He says that she called his wife thinking something might be wrong. When he went outside, he noticed the bloody box in the driveway and knew something was not right. He said, again, earlier that morning, he heard a commotion coming from the home that abruptly stopped, and he even had a conversation with that suspect. Take a listen.
He started talking about God and that same thing he did a couple of months ago. And I'm thinking, well, that's great. That's great. I'm glad to see you have a job and whatever. So he drives, he acts like he's talking on the phone, and he says, I got to go. So he left.
And the neighbor says that at that time, he eventually came back to the home with the contractor's truck and that witness. He says that he did have concerns about the suspect's behavior in the past, but he says the contractor had been at that home for quite a while doing some remodeling at the house. He says a lot of the people in this neighborhood know that contractor, and the neighbor even had asked him to do work from him in the future as well. And as you can imagine, he says everyone in this neighborhood is heartbroken.
He's just somebody that probably taking care of his family, that had to do housework and do mowing. And there's no way that what happened to him should have happened. There's no reason for that.
At this time. And at this time, investigators have not released the suspect's name. We are still waiting to hear about possible charges. We, of course, will keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting live, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Corley, thank you. And
There is now a bounty on their heads, and the sheriff herself is calling it an inside job, suspending 3 members of the department. Take a look at this new surveillance video showing inmates yanking on doors and then later running for an escape. All of them running off the loading dock early this morning in their prison jumpsuits. Sheriff Susan Hudson of New Orleans Parish says 10 inmates, many charged with violent crimes, escaped from the New Orleans Justice Center shortly after midnight last night. Police found one of those men hiding under a car in a hotel parking garage in the nearby French Quarter hours later. Prison officials realized the inmates had broken out not until a routine head count at 8:30 this morning. They say by that point, those men had been out and on the loose for nearly 8 hours. What is making this jailbreak even more controversial, authorities waited 2 hours before sounding the alarm to the public.
They could have been anywhere. We have to make sure that's exactly what happened. We have to pull all the video and find out what happened. That takes a little bit of time. Then we had to first prioritize talking to victims to make sure they were safe and making sure law enforcement could respond to them if they needed something.
Now, these fugitives are charged with a litany of crimes, including murder, burglary, illegal weapons possession, aggravated assault, and false imprisonment. Among the escapees is this man, 27-year-old Derek Groves, convicted of killing 4 people. He gunned down 2 of his victims at a Mardi Gras celebration back in 2018. Groves is known for having, quote, alarming familiarity with AK-47s and for boasting about his kill count. And take a look at these photos from inside the jail. The inmates writing on the wall above their escape hole, quote, too easy, LOL. They dug a hole in that wall behind a toilet and tunneled their way out to freedom after shaking their cell doors off their tracks. There were at least 4 supervisors and 36 other staff members on duty at the jail last night. Joining me now for more on all of this is
Oh man.
Think about this story, that's a great point, right? How dangerous. Can you imagine if this someone kills like a witness or someone that testified?
Yeah, the whole family went into hiding, man.
Got to, man.
That earlier. It's just amazing, man. They still out there. They're gonna make a movie about this one, man. At least.
How you feel, Miss Linda?
I feel wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am excited.
Yeah. How do you feel about moving out today?
I feel good.
You feel good. We're here for it.
Miss Linda called me 2 weeks ago because she had been dealing with this.
Can do because there is
Raccoons in her Congress Park Plaza apartment for more than a year. HUD and the property owner were aware.
Now that's the hood though. Congress Park, Congress, anything. Anything with a Congress on it is just a hood.
Want me to bring that box with the hangers?
Yeah. I don't want you to fall now.
I won't fall.
I was there as Miss Linda moved out of her old apartment.
All right. After I called Channel 7, it's been wonderful. I've been getting assisted to move. If it wasn't for her, I'd be still in the apartment with the raccoons. If it wasn't for Miss Ashley.
Oh, thank you, love.
These are just some of the messages and emails I sent to HUD, Code Enforcement, Council's Housing Chair, the Mayor's Ward Manager, Congress Park Tenant Association President, the Property Manager, and a placement agency. As we made our way to Miss Linda's new unit, she reflected on what's being left behind. These are just some of the 14 raccoons that were removed from her old unit after.
Jesus Christ, man. This is the city too. This is the city. This isn't like in the country. This is in the city proper.
This is the capital of the free world.
This is weird, and I've never seen a raccoon in DC either. I know that, but Southeast is a little bit different. It's kind of like a little bit more rural and stuff than the part of the city where I'm from. But still, it's like it's the city, the big city. It's crazy.
For our report.
This is my new place of residence now.
Yeah, you put your dining table here. You put your sofa here, and you can put your coffee table there. That way you still have all the space.
Yeah, my soap and stuff.
Your soap, your extra items.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's spacious.
Mm-hmm. Real nice.
The 2 weeks of fighting was worth it. We got it done.
Yep.
We got it done.
Yes.
I'm so happy for you.
Reporting from Southeast DC, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
Salute, man. That's a good story. I mean, that old lady don't need no raccoons.
Yeah, she clearly needs. She needs an assistant.
Yeah, got her a new.
Done got her free stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, man. She old, man.
Yeah, man.
It could have been worse. It could have been a son couple.
Yeah, baby mama with a bunch of kids.
Oh my God. They were just trash.
Pets and shit.
They probably would have said, about time.
Some squatters.
Oh man. Let's see, man. Let's see.
I think that it's unfair that it's been almost a year at this point and there's been no resolve.
Tonight, a Taking Action update into the disappearing rent payments in Prince George.
So with the glasses with sisters, why can't they just wear a regular pair of glasses, man?
It's because they got that bread in their pocket.
That bread in their pocket.
Make sure y'all support the channels. Via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Support the channel.
y'all.
Hit the like button.
Put some bread in Ox pocket, y'all.
Yeah, put some bread in my pocket. And put some likes on the board, man. We got 108 here, man, tonight, man. I'm trying to get this channel jumping, man. I'm trying to make this channel the channel where I live stream from, man. So help out, man. Hit the like button, share, tell everybody in Ox Nation.
Ox Nation news got hot.
Yeah, I mean,
I can do the Sunman thing where you know how the police crack down on the black and the brothers just move to the next black.
Yeah, but the regular Stringer Bell.
Exactly. The algorithm do me dirty on that other channel, man. I'm trying to see if the algorithm gonna get a fresh start on this channel, man.
That left residents facing eviction. 8 News first broke this story back in September as police launched an embezzlement investigation.
For months, 8 News investigator Roland Wilson has followed this situation very closely. So now what have you learned, Roland?
Well, Eric, Deanna, neighbors at Puddle Dock Place apartments tell me they are still frustrated, confused, and disappointed after thousands of dollars worth of their rent payments just disappeared. Many wondering what happened. Now, that is a very question I've pressed property management about for more than 7 months.
We don't know anything. They keep us completely in the dark.
For more than half a year, Puddle Dock Place residents Kendra Tonic and Brooke Lindsay have been waiting for the facts to finally come to light. We introduced you to the two back in September after they say months worth of rent payments totaling thousands of dollars vanished.
I was worried, fearful. I didn't know what to do, what to think.
At the time, apartment management told Tonic and Lindsay they were facing eviction for not paying rent. But 8 News learned Prince George police were investigating the disappearing act for embezzlement.
Had we not contacted you, Roland, we would not have even known that there was an embezzlement case.
For the past 7 months since learning about the investigation, I've continued to ask the property management team how many residents were impacted, how much money is unaccounted for, and where the office stands in resolving the issue. I even visited the leasing office recently, staff there declining to comment or identify themselves.
They don't want to answer questions when we ask about it. So it makes it complicated for us because we're trying to stay on top of it, so we don't get evicted.
The only details residents have gotten are the ones I've received. In September, management told me they were committed to resolving these matters effectively and ensuring the well-being of our community. And in December, management said they were tracking any payments that residents have reported.
Yeah, right. Somebody stole that shit. They're gonna find out who did it, and whatever. I don't know what they're gonna do. Let's see over here. Let's go over here.
A family in a Roanoke apartment complex is being evicted. Now 16 families have until the end of the month to find new homes. WDBJ7's Kyra Willis spoke to residents who are looking for answers.
Residents here at Crystal Spring Apartments say they felt blind.
Damn. She just all up in the screen and shit.
I know, too close.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, she needs to take a couple steps back.
Man, you can't get closer to the camera, sister?
Yeah, back up a little bit. Yeah, man. I mean, I know they made that statue of you and everything, but don't get big on this, man. Jesus Christ.
Residents here at Crystal Spring Apartments say they felt blindsided when they were served with 30-day eviction notices last week. Now, they're scrambling to find a new place to live and answers as to why this is happening all at the same time.
I'm pretty much stuck right now. It's 9 years. I have to pack up in 30 days. So, yeah. And looking for an apartment, you have to make 3 times the rent, and they're expensive.
Maria Williams got a text. Who does she look like? I want to see if anybody can tell me who
She kind of looks like, to me, she looks like the caterpillar from A Bug's Life.
Wow. Who does she look like, though?
Or the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
The caterpillar. So, like, who does she look like, y'all?
There's nothing comes to mind. I don't know.
There's nothing comes to mind. Nothing.
No,
Nothing
I
comes to
mean,
mind.
nothing. Yeah, not at the drop of the dime. I mean,
Buddha?
you can tell me.
Are you gonna say Buddha?
Someone said Peter Griffith.
Yeah. If Peter Griffin was a sister.
Yo.
Damn, that
I was
does.
thinking,
Okay.
yo, she looked like Peter Griffin, man. she looked like. I mean, listen, man. It's close, man. She looked like Peter Griffin. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw her. I said, God damn, this motherfucker Peter Griffin, man. Fuck.
Oh
Hey,
shit! Oh shit! I just
imagine
see
being
it.
the dude smashing that shit, right? And you hear this, and you hear this. You're like, oh fuck. And you're like, oh shit, this bitch do look like Peter Griffin. Fuck.
Niggas don't care though.
Damn, man. She straight look like Peter. Got the glasses and everything, man.
Yeah,
God damn.
she's got the chin. That's crazy.
Hell yeah, she got everything. Woo. Wow.
And they're expensive.
Maria Williams got a text from Hometown Holdings LLC stating the property management company was planning to sell the apartment complex. She's not the only one. All of her neighbors are also being evicted and now have 30 days to find a new place to live.
I feel like it was heartless. I feel like they should have gave us a notice when they put the property up for sale. Hey guys, we're selling it. Find somewhere to go. Give us time, a little bit of time, 60 days, 90 days. That's fair. But when you knew you were putting it up for sale, you should have told us. We've been here a long time.
Zachary Brown with the Legal Aid Society of Roanoke Valley says generally, when someone purchases a property, they have to honor any lease agreement that may exist within the premises, whether they be month to month or year long. Brown says there's nothing directly preventing a new owner from evicting every tenant, although any lease termination notice given to a tenant, which is inconsistent with the timing of the lease, is invalid. Other tenants I spoke with say they're devastated they have to suddenly leave and are frustrated they weren't given any other options.
We don't understand. We're all working class people. We have jobs.
Got Lou Holtz here and shit.
Damn. Sold ass man.
What's going on over this? Shit.
We pay rent. I don't understand why we haven't been, given any of those choices. To expect people to move in 30 days at the drop of a hat notice, that's kind of hard in today's economy. Everybody's kind of unnerved about it and upset.
Brown says this really comes down to an issue of contract law. Both sides, tenant and landlord, are bound to the terms of their lease contract for the benefit of all.
Yeah, man. If they selling the joint, man, you gotta get out, man.
Sounds like they're gonna demolish it and probably put something different there.
Well, at least renovate them. Yeah,
charge more.
All the people, all the guests that they had talking, they all seem weird and strange. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody was weird in that town. That's like a one of them towns out of a Stephen King fucking movie or some shit.
Tonight for the suspects right here in this video. Philadelphia police say they attacked a 77-year-old man in Center City and stole his wallet. They allegedly pushed him to the ground before robbing him on the 1200 block of Spruce Street. Action News reporter Jessica.
Yeah, they showed us the image, right? The video, but they didn't even have to. It goes without saying, an elderly victim. Who's with me? Press 1.
Oh, I didn't even realize Ock left.
My bad.
he
I
left.
had to my shit went down. Let me switch back.
Yeah, but them are some context clues, right? An elderly victim.
Oh yeah, definitely 1,000.
Jury's in.
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we already know what time it is. Let's just see how bad they did it, man. Hope they ain't doing too
Tonight
bad.
for the suspects right here in this video. Philadelphia police say they attacked a 77-year-old man in Center City and stole his wallet. They allegedly pushed him to the ground before robbing him on the 1200 block of Spruce Street. Action News reporter Jessica Cartalia live for us now in Center City with more on the details, and I'm sure more of this video, Jessica.
Yeah, well, Shari, people who live and work in this area say what's most concerning about this entire situation is that this happened at a time like this when people are heading out to dinner. There's a lot of people walking around and it's broad daylight. Philadelphia police just released this surveillance video from the SEPTA station at 60th and Market. It shows 5 suspects wanted in the brazen attack of a 77-year-old man in Center City. Terrifying. It was like they picked the weakest link. The attack happened here along 12th Street and Spruce. Police say the man was walking around 7 o'clock on a warm Sunday evening on April 27th. When the school-aged suspects approached him from behind and pushed him to the ground near Quince Street. They took off with the victim's wallet.
It's unfortunate that someone has the need to do that to someone, you know, like clearly they're going through something and they need something.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Damn.
Wow.
Hold on. Let's really dissect that, right? He's focused on the sound words. They're going through something.
And they need something.
Yeah.
This is insane.
No solution.
Someone has
No
the
solution.
need to do that to someone, you know, like clearly they're going through something and they need something or want something, so they take it or attack someone.
This robbery happened just blocks from where 2 women were assaulted in unrelated attacks also around 7 p.m. According to Philadelphia police, there were 17 robberies in this past year, the same number as the year before. Jerry Power lives in the neighborhood and says he stopped walking his dog at night.
It's getting pretty scary. I've started walking around with pepper spray.
Oh my God.
There's a bunch of fucking fags live in this neighborhood.
Yeah, is this Boys Town right here?
Yeah, they weirdos over here, man. But they're liberals. You can tell them that's probably the worst thing, that they're liberals. That's why they're not going to get any relief from this shit.
Lives in the neighborhood and says he stopped walking his dog at night.
It's getting pretty scary. I've started walking around with pepper spray.
The suspects were seen on surveillance video at a corner store minutes before they allegedly attacked the elderly man. A store employee says it was odd they were wearing masks on such a beautiful evening. While police asked the community to come forward with tips on the suspects, some residents say the neighborhood is getting a bad rap.
This street is actually a very good street, and I don't think that that's representative of this neighborhood.
Yeah.
With detectives a long time ago, they say that they're
No shit.
The neighborhood's a bunch of fucking gay guys.
Right. Yeah, I wonder how old that last guy was. He might be up next. Do you remember the one city? I don't know if it was Philly that had a segment called City Under Siege, and then they would proceed to talk about Sun Kids.
It's DC.
Yeah, and then they would proceed to talk about, in particular, Sun teens.
Oh yeah,
Sun babies.
Well, tonight a family is demanding justice. More than a week since a gruesome murder in West Philadelphia. A 32-year-old woman was shot and thrown from a moving car. Tonight, her murder remains a mystery as her loved ones search for answers. Actually, the
sisters be getting police headquarters. They say sisters are twice as likely to commit murder than white men. But god damn, they be getting their shit torn off in Blackistan, man.
Man,
they be getting whacked
in
public. Like they don't get shot in the home like that. They get shot in their cars on busy streets.
Yeah, and
nobody know nothing.
Yeah, but they be outside though. They be running the streets.
But it's not. I don't even think it's about them being outside, man. I think it's literally just proximity to the bullets.
Yeah, it's just proximity, man.
More than a week since a gruesome murder in West Philadelphia. A 32-year-old woman was shot and thrown from a moving car. Tonight, her murder remains a mystery as her loved ones search for answers. Action News reporter Leland Pinder is live from police headquarters with the latest on the investigation. Leland.
Yeah, Rick, I did reach out to police tonight about this investigation. Right now, they didn't have any new information to share, but this woman's family, They are identifying her for the first time, and they're also hoping someone out there knows something that can help solve this case. This is how family members say they'll remember 32-year-old Alexandria Warren, happy, dancing, and the life of the party. She was tragically killed on May 8th, leaving behind loving family members and 2 young children.
Her children's asking why. Her son is very angry. He doesn't understand why would someone do that to his mom.
Witnesses told police Warren was thrown from a moving vehicle that night along the
She was
5000
tripping.
block of Parkside Avenue. She was taken to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. Police say Warren had severe trauma to her face and a gunshot wound to her chest, but no ballistic evidence was
She
found.
probably was turning tricks because I mean I'm not to diss or nothing, but she kind of looked like a street lady, like a you know what I'm saying, a woman that's like street culture type woman. You know, like those. You know how they got the old heads that hang out at the liquor store, or they might have like a park like around there where all the old heads hang out at. You know, she seemed very group home-ish, very halfway house-ish.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? She looked like she looked like a I don't know how to explain it, but she looked like somebody.
like she's taking a couple of trips to Alcohol Anonymous type shit.
Yeah, like she been around. Like
Yeah.
she been around and she's still around.
Kind of
Like
like
she
like a Sandra Bland.
Yeah, but even worse. Sandra,
Oh, you would.
like she just like a hood figure, like that lady in the hood or whatever. You know, somebody mother and shit.
Andrea Warren, happy, dancing, and the life of the party. She was tragically killed on May 8th, leaving behind loving family members and 2 young children.
Her children's asking why. Her son is very
I could see her like dealing with some dude, some other, like kind of like transient or vagrant dude and shit, and like them being a little like, you know what I'm saying, like turning tricks or some shit, or then they like, shit just went left and niggas killed her or some shit.
angry. He doesn't understand why would someone do that to his mom.
Witnesses told police Warren was thrown from a moving vehicle that night along the 5000 block of Parkside Avenue. She was taken to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. Police say Warren had severe trauma to her face and a gunshot wound to her chest, but no ballistic evidence was found at the scene.
This Mother's Day, we were supposed to have dinner. We didn't have no dinner. We had no Alexandria. I had no daughter. And we still haven't seen her. Please come forward.
What may have
Tomorrow I'm gonna start the show on Ock Nation News, and then I'm gonna switch over here. I'm gonna simulcast, and I'm gonna switch over here. That's probably the best bet. You know what I'm saying? To start the show over there and switch over here because the numbers is a lot of people not don't. I guess they're not coming over. So I'm probably gonna start the show tomorrow, Ock Nation News, and switch over here. So everybody, make sure you subscribe to this channel too, man. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the like button. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Let's go.
Preceded Warren's death is still under investigation, and there's no word on a motive. For now, the case is a mystery, and no arrests have been made.
I know out here it's the whole don't snitch and everything like that, but just come forth, say, whatever information that you know that could lead to the arrest of whoever did this.
Back at the site where Warren was found, a memorial now stands in her memory in plain view, where the person responsible could see it.
Turn yourself in, please.
Family members say she did deserve this fate and to be treated so badly.
We need justice for Alexandria. We're going to miss her, and we will definitely keep her memory alive.
And community members will gather on Sunday evening for a memorial there in Parkside in Alexandria's memory. Her funeral is scheduled for next Friday. Live here outside police headquarters.
It's just very interesting how there's never one dull day.
Oh no, no.
And listen, we're talking about like a fraction of what goes on.
Right.
Like, we're not even talking about like
It's only
everything.
It's only a dull day if we do gliders only. We get bored real quick.
Right. I mean, you're right. It's a fraction, man. But I feel like if we were to get the whole scoop nightly, it'd be a mind fuck. I don't know if a human brain can take that much carnage.
No, I don't think so.
And devastation.
No.
Yes. It's sad, man. Look at the woman. Another woman.
Fort Worth grandmother is injured after someone shoots several times into her home. It happened early this morning near Alta Mesa Boulevard and McCart Avenue. Fox 4's Casey Stiegel's in Fort Worth tonight with more on what happened and the investigation. Casey?
Yeah, Steve, good evening. I spoke with the victim's grandson off camera earlier today. He tells me the family does not want to be identified because the shooter is still on the loose. Fort Worth police are also withholding the victim's name. Gunfire echoing through a South Fort Worth neighborhood.
I can't believe that was gunfire. I thought that was some kind of machine that was left on.
That's a teenager there. It's some teenagers that live in that house with grandma. That were the targets of that. Because just the other grandma in Maryland earlier the week that got shot through the window, and she died. She had little small kids there, so it's like, I don't know, maybe that might have been mistaken identity. But this one, I'm pretty sure there got to be some teenagers there. Look at all them boys.
Gunfire echoing through a South Fort Worth neighborhood in the wee morning hours Friday.
We heard about 20 shots, and we thought it was behind our house. So I called my other neighbor, and I was like, man, what's you all right? You good? He was like, yeah, I'm good.
The same, however, could not be said for the woman who lives just across the street from Mario Coleman. Fort Worth police say she was shot multiple times inside her home on Shasta Trail by an unknown shooter around 2:10 a.m.
I'm outraged. That lady, she's sweet. She ain't did nothing to nobody. She's been a good neighbor to me.
The victim remains hospitalized and is expected to survive. According to her grandson, they were both asleep when somebody shot through their side window. Friday afternoon, we could see broken glass and holes where he told us it happened. Neighbors, meantime, still trying to process it all.
It's one of those neighborhoods where we don't have any issues. Yeah, so right now for that to happen, it's like everybody's on high alert.
The Fort Worth Police Department telling us that the gang unit will in fact handle the investigation from here. Detectives from the Gun Violence Division are also on the case. Steve?
Well, at least they got a gang unit and a gun violence unit.
Yeah. I mean, look, that story alone, right? The one that they just did alone is a lot. Like, it's enough to, like, have you, like, a town, like, oh, my God, like, what the hell's going on?
Right. But then that turned out to be, like, not the only thing that happened in it.
But I mean, it's just like so much going on that it's in a city like for example, Chicago, it would just be like, a Tuesday.
Right. But that town is a very small population. But they got a lot of senators down there. It basically just depends on how many sons you have.
Well, tonight a family is demanding justice.
It's directly related to how many sons you have.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that seems to be the case. But I mean, again, hoteps will hear that and be put out by it. Like, how can you be put out by it? It seems to be the case.
Yeah, everybody knows it though. Everybody knows it. That's the thing about it though.
Like, they'll deflect. They'll try to, like, do all these techniques to get around it, and it's like, dude, look at it. It's right here in front of your fucking nose. Look at it.
Yep. Oh man. Give me a city, man.
Africa.
Oh man, it's been a long time, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's been a long time since we went to Africa, man. Oh, Africa. Let's see.
The Rankin County Board of Supervisors is facing critics after one of their members made comments about victims of a heinous crime. District 4 Supervisor Steve Gaines is accused of referring to Eddie Parker and Michael Jenkins as dopers and rapists. They are the two men who were violently assaulted in January of 2023 by 5 deputies and an off-duty Richland police officer. Gaines also reportedly said the department's attorney, quote, beat the pants off of him. The comments came after the county settled a civil lawsuit with the victims. Gaines claims he was not addressing anyone specifically, but there is still outrage from his comments.
If you was bold enough to say that in a meeting, what else are y'all talking about behind closed doors? Because
Oh God. You know this story, right? This is the criminals, like yeah.
They like the switch one and they like, I guess, grape these dudes or something.
No, they just like sodomized one of them, and they did them dirty. But they had like this little like hut they would take the guys to. There was like a kind of like a scorpion unit for their child, but they took, of course, they abused that shit.
Yeah.
And they had this little hideout they would take the guys to, and they would take drug dealers to and beat the shit out of them and try to like get them to torture them and try to confess. And
man, who got it worse, the Tyree Nichols or this dude? I think man, just kill me, man.
Yeah,
I think Tyree Nichols got it worse.
It went in his butt, but here's the thing, though. They got paid, but they were drug dealers. They were fucking street dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys, that goon squad, they wasn't messing with regular people. They was out there for the filthy shit of the city, right? So anyway, those guys, all those white dudes is in prison for doing long sentences now. And sons still be like, man, you still, you know what I'm saying? They don't count that. They don't count Chauvin. They don't count Albert Geiger. They don't count these guys. They act like cops never go to jail, and cops always go to jail. But anyway, this guy right here saying, what else y'all talking about? Like, who gives a fuck that he called the criminals? Yes, they got a lawsuit. Yes, they won their case. Yes, the cops went to jail. But those guys were still drug dealers and degenerates. And calling them that, we don't need no fucking march, and we don't need no fucking civil rights fucking symposium and shit because somebody said that shit. Tired of niggas, man. Every fucking time one of them get offended, we gotta have a fucking national conversation. Shit is annoying, man. But let's hear the brother, man.
From his comments.
If you was bold enough to say that in a meeting, what else are y'all talking about behind closed doors? Because I'm a black man in Rankin County. I was born and raised in Jackson. And I was always told, don't cross that line in Rankin County.
Each of the 6 former law enforcement members involved in the attack are serving prison time on state charges as well as federal charges.
Wow. Let's see what else is going on in Africa, man.
Troy, the conditions over here at Chapel Ridge Apartments on Raymond Road are disgusting. Take a look here behind me, and you can see
This is Jafrica. This now nothing's changed. Not much has changed. Shout out to Jafrica, man.
Yeah, that's shoot. What's that? Yeah, that's Jafrica.
Salute to Eric S. Man. He says it's something I've always believed for a long time. Our son's a big reason why rent prices, mortgages, property taxes high. I figured you have to price them jokers out as much as possible. Yeah, you got to price them out, and then it's woven into the law. Like when I stayed in my apartment, right? Somebody got an echo. When I was in my apartment, we were supposed to have stayed in a nice building. This was when I lived in DC and shit, right? And they passed the ordinance in DC where every building had this allot a certain amount of units for low income families. And when they did that shit, our building was not exempt, right? It wasn't just like, every building. It was just like it was every building, right? Like every apartment building, no matter where it was. And the joint was like working class people. I didn't know anybody in my building because everybody just come home and go in their apartment. You know what I'm saying? Even the shared spaces like the computer room and the TV room and the weight room, it'd be people there or shit every once in a while, but not. You know what I'm saying? Everybody parks in the parking deck. It goes up to their little apartment and they in there. No trash, nothing, nowhere. No loud noise, nothing. Man, as soon as they changed that shit and I think it made like 10 units, 10 units or 10 to 20 units in the building. Probably a building with probably 100 something units, right? They made like 10 to 20 units, low income. You start smelling weed in the hallways all the time. You come up on the elevator, whole fucking hallway boofing. I'm talking about boofing. You hear me? Like straight weed. Start seeing litter because we had a little what's that thing when you drive in? It's like a little semicircle driveway in front of our building, and be litter on there, and shit, bags and diamonds wrappers and shit, and loud music and shit. And then there was a building behind us, and they did way more low income, right? Because they weren't like a kind of like an upscale apartment building, so they did way more low income units, right? And then the lady next door to me, white lady across the hall from us, 70-year-old white lady, used to always talk to because this is when I was just having my daughter, and she had her daughter was pregnant, and we would talk about and shit like that. So we got to know each other pretty much. She got robbed at the gas station twice. And it was like, yo, none of that type of shit happened. And then a fucking homeless dude I used to talk to, he had no legs, and he was sitting in his wheelchair at the gas station and just asked for change and whatnot. Very nice guy, but that was his profession. He said to sit at the gas station and bump change. So niggas shot his ass. Like all this shit happened after the low income, after they passed that ordinance where you gotta allow market rate. That's what it is. That's the term. Market rate. Market rate units in your building. They completely changed the whole tenor of the neighborhood. That shit was crazy how fast that shit happened too. And then a guy in the building got shot through he was in his house. He was in his apartment and some guy shot him through some guy was chasing another guy outside with a gun, killed him, but one of the bullets went through the unit, hit the guy. All this crazy shit just started happening around there when I promise you, nothing happened. Okay? Before that, nothing. Packages, Our unit was so sweet. The mailman didn't put they didn't put the packages in the mailbox. They just sat them in the little alcove where the mailboxes were. They just sat them there. All the packages. They would just stack the packages there. Once they changed them, had to put those units in the building. You go to get your mail, package don't be there. You call the place. You like, you haven't received it back. They said we sent it. You start seeing signs up by the mailboxes. Hey, my mom sent me and some valuable pictures and heirlooms, and if you have them, we're willing to. Those are treasures to us. We're willing to pay. We just want them back. Stuff like that. People leaving notes like, "Yeah, I got a package that was missing. If and it was like this. All this weird shit started happening just from those units, and it's like, God damn, niggas ruin shit fast, okay? Like they ruin shit, and you can, and people gotta know, like, it's no way I'm the only one that saw that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible. Everybody had to feel that shit. But yeah, salute to Eric S, man. He says, yeah, salute to Eric S. Um, let me go ahead and play this video, man. Sons ruin everything, man. If you don't want no low income housing, no market rate, no none of that shit. When any of that shit if any politician propose any of that shit, assassinate their ass.
Troy, the conditions over here at Chapel Ridge Apartments on Raymond Road are disgusting. Take a look here behind me and you can see the furniture piling up, the trash, and the smell is just awful. But there is progress. Chapel Ridge Apartments on Raymond Road has become an illegal dumping site in recent weeks. And now the Department of Environmental Quality and the Department of Health is stepping in. Meanwhile, trash is being cleared from the property. James Hobson,
getting ready to try to make a difference in this community.
The owner of Hobson's Junk Express Removal has volunteered to step in and help clear out some of the trash.
I've always been a servant of Jackson. Anytime any problem arose, I've always tried to jump and help in any way or fashion that I could, whether it was big or small, and this was no different.
In a letter from the State Department of Environmental Quality to the apartment complex owner Frederick Schulman, it explains the complaint that trash collection services have ended, leaving residents with no way to properly dispose of household garbage, and that the site is being used as an unauthorized dump.
This is deplorable for people to have to live like this. I wish that the viewers could smell the stench that's out here right now. I wish they could see the bugs that are flying around us right now. I wish they could see the vermin that's out here after this garbage, as well as the buzzards that are flying above us.
City officials are getting involved as well.
Management has failed here. Not just management, but the first failure came with the owners. The people who own this property have a responsibility to pay their bills to the management company, so the management company can get dumpsters and provide the other vital services for the citizens of Jackson that lives here.
MDEQ is giving Chapel Ridge 30 days to dispose of the garbage. Hobson plans to continue cleaning up the property. He says it's going to take some time.
We're just trying to just make a better way for the tenants if we can.
Right.
And Hobson is doing this cleanup for free. He has to pay for up to $175 to properly dispose of each of these items. He is inviting anybody in the community that wants to help out to come on out. Live in Jackson, Kendall Jones.
What do you think? You think people in the community gonna come help?
Hell no.
Hell no, man.
You think any of the mamas? You think any of the mamas gonna get their little fucking teenage boys that ain't doing a fucking thing?
Nah.
And say,
What
hey,
are
man,
them
you go
teenage?
help
What
that
are
nigga.
What of them teenage boys better get shot by the white police if they want to get any action? Because besides that, ain't nothing happening.
Man, get your ass out there and help this man, man.
Man,
All this shit for
is it me
snitch.
or damn near every time we come to Jackson, it's a story just like this?
Yeah, somebody got a mean echo, man.
It's
Yeah,
either like the potholes or the garbage pickup or something along those lines of city services
yeah,
that are
because it's a
not
black run city. Remember, this city,
exactly
everything is black. Like,
exactly. Every time
there's
we come
no
here, man.
white person. There's no white person that has any power in this town.
This pile of trash you see behind me has only grown larger since we first brought it to you, talked to you about it about 2 weeks ago. Now, local, city, and neighborhood leaders say it's time to trash the trash. A call for action to remove a growing mound of trash from a South Jackson apartment complex.
I mean, we can't fix the problem, but until we can figure out what's going on, we came out here today trying to figure some.
What you mean you can't fix the problem? You niggas can fix that shit. Yo, listen, on Brito, how long would on Britos deal with this problem, Vicky? American on Britos, Americanized on Britos. I don't know how it is in Mexico.
I don't know, but I feel at home looking at that.
From a South Jackson apartment complex.
I mean, we can't fix the problem, but until we can figure out what's going on, we came out here today trying to figure some things out.
Community, local, and state leaders pleading for help to clean up the pile of trash at Chapel Ridge Apartments on Raymond Road. The bags of garbage prompting public health concerns.
It's a health issue. And until we realize that it's not a certain part of Jackson, all of us got to get concerned about what's going on in different areas.
16 WAPT first told you about the garbage problem 2 weeks ago.
Feel sorry for the people who stay on the side and have to walk outside their house with kids that's playing outside in their yard. They have to face this every single day and trying to go to school.
Tenant Kevin Hatchie says there have been trash problems at the complex for years.
Not a third world country, Jackson, but it looks like one.
Tuesday, Hatchie's joined several local groups for a news conference to talk about trashing the trash.
If anybody can help us with donations or dumpsters or anything.
Neighborhood leaders suggesting using Richards Disposal, which collects residential trash. Is there anything the city can do?
Well, this is private property.
Ward 5 Councilman Vernon Hartley says it's illegal for the city to use tax dollars to remove trash from private property.
However, if the city administration will look at it as an emergency, I'm sure they can step in and have this removed.
At this point, it's unclear who's managing the complex. A note on the leasing office door says the management company no longer operates the property, and they were unsure who will take over daily operations. Tenants advised to hold on to their rent checks.
Under state law, anytime there's an apartment, they are responsible for having the removal of that waste. In this case, it's not happening. And we need to get to the bottom of why it's not happening.
State Representative Grace Butler Washington, who represents this neighborhood in the legislature, tells us the State Department of Environmental Quality plans to fine the management company for, quote, illegal dumping. Now, we're told that investigators from DEQ were on this property last week documenting the trash on the ground. We don't know how much that fine is likely to be. We have reached out to the management company for.
Jeez, man. Wow.
Man, what's crazy is that dudes out of Mississippi, like they're the most like anti-white people. They think that the white man has created all problems. And look at it.
Yeah.
It's all black.
Yeah. I just really appreciate the consistency from some people, though. You know what I mean? Like, at least I know what to expect from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They never let you down. Jeez.
Man, there was this once I saw it on Twitter, but I was trying to figure out how I'd be able to share it with you. But it was like It happened at a Walmart. I don't know if you ever covered this story, but a woman basically got sexually assaulted like at a Walmart during the afternoon, and people like kind of jumped on him, and then he got out on a $50,000 bond, so he's like back at Walmart.
Damn.
But it's just crazy, like the dude, and I'm thinking that he just roped her or something like that. No, man, that dude tried to go for it, and
Was
then
this a while ago or is this new?
maybe it was I just saw it, but it might have been a while ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been kind of noticing like for a while now, you kind of, we kind of go hard on women about them being police chiefs and like in position of power and they fuck everything up. But I posted a video in the back. It's like a 7-minute video, but this one like really shows like if women actually put their heart into this policing, like they're like valor, like they like really are brave and put their life on the line for it and get the
Oh
job
yeah, I
done.
believe you. I believe you. I definitely believe you. I mean, those incidents when they get the gun taken and shit, that's relatively rare considering how many cops there is. But I mean, everything ain't for everybody though. I still think everything ain't for everybody. Some women, sure, but
Yeah, but you should
having
play
a
that video. It shows it pretty good though. What I'm talking about.
having a push where you like are like trying to hire women, where you're like we're recruiting women. Or I don't think no woman should be recruited to fucking be a police officer. I think it should just be all the ones just want to they walk ups. Like you shouldn't be looking for women to fucking. If you got a spot open for a fucking cop, you try to find a man for it. Now, some woman get in there and then she show out and training in police academy and do her thing. Fine, let her be a cop, but no recruiting women and cops, man. We ain't looking for no
Yeah,
fucking.
I'm more intrigued by how many sisters we forced to the top of leadership of all these men.
Well,
It's weird.
I think they just need incompetent people sometimes. So it's like they just go for the people that are gonna do the dumb stuff.
Who's they?
Well,
Who's
shit.
they?
They, Ike.
Yeah. But I'm
They.
just saying the ones who have enough to buy elections or whatever.
I don't understand why they would want
Well,
incompetent police officers.
no. I'm talking about an incompetent like chief or I don't know. I just believe that sometimes in order for if they really truly want chaos, they'll just put incompetent people in charge. So practically any other woman.
Mm. Well, let me see.
Maybe get a sister judge in there to get you a nice bench trial going.
Let me see.
Then they'll do what they're told.
Let me go to Twitter, man. Salute to everybody out there, man. Salute to David DeHart. He said in Africa, there's no word for maintenance in their language. They use things until they are useless. Main reason they never progress. Sound familiar? Yeah, I mean, hold on. Who we got the back chat? Oh, we got Doug. What's up, Doug? What's your thoughts, man?
Hey, same old,
What's going
same
on?
old, same old, same old.
I had a video that I wanted to show y'all. Let me see if I got it, if I saved it. I hope I saved it.
They say that in Alaska, Ike, if the polar bears don't get you, the sunman will.
I'm telling you.
Thanks.
I'm breaking your rule all the time, chasing sunmen off my property.
What, in Alaska?
Yeah.
All right,
What are they doing on your
telling
property?
them to leave.
Yeah, what do you mean?
out of my business property. It's a homeless problem, and it's not just Sons exclusively. It's but they're a significant portion.
And how's that going? Like,
good.
what's telling something in the leaves going good? Okay.
So far.
Okay. Shit. Shit. Do your thing, man. You must got the Midas touch, man.
It's different. We also don't have things like carjacking up here, but I think it's I think it's because of where we are geographically. Suns are a bit less sunny up here.
Oh, they're a bit less sunny.
Yeah.
There we go. This one right here. Who was this?
Our next speaker, Eugene Valberg, received his PhD from the State University of New York at Buffalo, and he taught philosophy in the United States for about 10 years before heading for more exotic climes. And from 1976 to 1988, he taught in universities in Africa and Papua New Guinea, until something that is unfortunately all too common in our circles happened to him. His views on race were published in a newspaper, against his permission, by the way, and he suddenly found himself forced to change careers. But since that time, Dr. Valberg has lived in Johannesburg, South Africa, where he's self-employed in various professions. Dr. Valberg, in fact, shares the distinction with only myself and Sam Dixon as being the only person who actually spoke at the very first American Renaissance Conference in 1994. Good for him. I should say we three are the only ones here today. Now, I had become acquainted with Dr. Valberg through his absolutely fascinating book called Racism, Guilt, Self-Hatred, and Self-Deceit, which is an extraordinary account of the racial wisdom he's accumulated in various offbeat parts of the world. The book is available by internet, and also if you speak to Dr. Valberg, he'll be happy to tell you how to get a copy. So I'm very pleased that Dr. Valberg has agreed to return to the AR podium and once again share his insights. So please, if you would, welcome Eugene Valberg.
My first inklings regarding African languages arose from a conversation with students in Nigeria about a coconut in a tree and how to say where it was. I said, how would you say that it's about halfway up the tree? And they simply said, you can't say that. All you can say is that it's up. I said, how about it's all the way up? He said, it doesn't matter. All you can say is up. In other words, there's no sense of gradations. A few years later in Nairobi, two women expressed surprise when they saw that I had an English dictionary. Isn't English your language? They said, yes, it's my only language. Well, then why do you need a dictionary? In short, they were puzzled that I needed an English dictionary, and I was puzzled at their puzzlement. I said, there are always times, I said, when you come across a word that you don't know, and so you look it up in a dictionary. They said, but if English is your language, how can there be words you don't know? I said, well, what do you mean? There's always, no one knows all the words in their language. And they responded, but we know all the words in our language. Every Kikuyu, which was their language, every Kikuyu does. I said, what? I was really surprised. And then it dawned on me that being an entirely oral language, which had never been written, they would have to know all the words in their language. because a non-written oral language only exists in the minds of the speakers of that language. Whereas in a language like English, which is written down, the language expands indefinitely and is much greater than one person could possibly know. So that if the words in Zuyu weren't known by the speakers, they couldn't be anywhere else, because where else could they be besides in the minds of these speakers?
That's deep, right?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I remember hearing this speech before, but I mean, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
It's like when no one clues.
Which means that a non-written language has basically a finite size, and is basically static. But if the size of a language is limited, it follows that the concepts in that language are also going to be limited. And therefore that the language and the thinking of such people is going to be impoverished. Of course, it is impoverished only in relation or comparison to a language like English. African languages were of necessity sufficient in their pre-colonial context. While numerous dictionaries have been compiled between European and African languages, there are very few intra-African language dictionaries. I've seen a Zulu dictionary. It is a small format paperback, 252 pages long.
Damn.
My queries into Zulu began when I rang the African language department at a university in Johannesburg and got to a white guy. I asked whether precision existed in pre-contact Zulu, in other words, in indigenous Zulu. He said, "Oh, that's a very Eurocentric question," and he wouldn't answer it. I called again, spoke to another white guy, got exactly the same answer. So I called UNISA in Pretoria. I spoke to a young black guy. What was the Zulu entry for precision? He said, to make like a straight line. Was this part of indigenous Zulu? No, he said, that was added. As has been my experience in Africa, we got along like a house of fire. I explained my interest in Zulu. We found my questions very interesting. Abstract concepts are usually intangible and cannot be perceived by the senses. The number 7 is prime. Its primeness, however, cannot be seen, felt, or heard. It can only be perceived by the mind. Abstract entities are often things which do not exist. What would happen if everyone threw rubbish everywhere refers to something which hopefully will not happen. Nevertheless, we can think about what would happen if everyone did that. Everything we observe occurs in time, and everything we see exists in space, yet we cannot perceive either time or space with our senses, only with the mind. Precision is also abstract. While we can see and touch things made with precision, precision itself can only be grasped by the mind. So how do we acquire abstract concepts? Is it enough, for example, that we make things with precision to have the concept of precision? Africans make excellent carvings, clearly made with precision. So why isn't the word in their language? Well, to have the concept of precision, we must not only deal with precision, but we must become aware that there is such a thing as precision and then give it a name. How do we acquire such concepts as belief and doubt? We all have beliefs. Even animals have belief. When a dog wags its tail when he hears his master is coming, he believes that his master is coming. But it has no concept of belief because it has no awareness that it has this belief, and so has no awareness of belief per se. In short, it has no self-consciousness. It is not aware of this state of mind. A rat conditioned to expect food after pressing a bar, but who then finds that sometimes it doesn't come, will begin doubting that the bar will bring food. But it doesn't have a concept of doubt precisely because it lacks the self-consciousness to become aware of this state of mind, which we call doubt. I observed early on that blacks generally lack self-consciousness. If self-consciousness, self-awareness is a sine qua non for developing abstract concepts, it is not surprising that black languages are deficient in abstract terms. This lack of introspection, in fact, has its advantages. It has been my experience that neurotic behavior, characterized by excessive and unhealthy self-consciousness, a rat conditioned to expect food after pressing a bar, but who then finds that sometimes it doesn't come, will begin doubting that the bar will bring food. But it doesn't have a concept of doubt precisely because it lacks the self-consciousness to become aware of this state of mind, which we call doubt. I observed early on that blacks generally lack self-consciousness. If self-consciousness, self-awareness is a sine qua non for developing abstract concepts, it is not surprising that black languages are deficient in abstract terms. This lack of introspection, in fact, has its advantages. It has been my experience that neurotic behavior, characterized by excessive and unhealthy self-consciousness, is less common amongst blacks. Several psychiatrists that I've spoken to confirm this. Insofar as blacks lack self-consciousness, they will obviously have less unhealthy self-consciousness and therefore less neuroses. I'm also confident that sexual dysfunction characterized by such self-consciousness and foisted upon men by feminism is also uncommon amongst black men. After discussing precision with this black guy at the University in Pretoria, I was assured by him that it was otherwise with promise. I said, how about obligation? We looked it up. The Zulu entry means as if to bind one's feet. No, he said, that was added. No, it wasn't in Zulu prior to European contact. But if Zulu didn't contain the concept of obligation, how could it contain the word promise, since a promise is simply the oral undertaking of an obligation? For him, this was a light bulb experience. I thought I was interested because Africans so often fail to keep promises and never apologize, as if they had nothing to apologize for. Yes, he said, the Zulu word for promise, isitembiso, is not the correct word. When a black person promises, he said, he means maybe I will, maybe I won't. I said, but this makes nonsense of promising, whose very raison d'etre is to bind one to a course of action. When one is not sure he can do something, he may say, well, I will try, but I can't promise. He said he'd heard whites say that and had never understood it until now. In other words, as a young Romanian friend so aptly summed it up, when a black person promises, he means, I'll try. To explain this failure to keep promises as a linguistic problem is far-fetched. It is hard to believe that living with whites for so long that they could not learn the correct meaning, and it is too much of a coincidence that the same thing occurs in Nigeria, Kenya, and Papua New Guinea, places where I've also lived. Much more likely they lack the very concept and hence cannot give the word its correct meaning. But why do they lack this concept? That none of these cultures have the concept and that the people so often fail to learn them seems to indicate an intellectual incapacity. Note the huge significance of this definition of obligation, as if to bind one's feet. An obligation binds you, but it does so morally, not physically. It is abstract. You can't see it, you can't hear it, or touch it, which of course is precisely why there's no such word in Zulu. So what have these authors of this dictionary done? They've taken an abstract concept, obligation, and made it concrete. Feet, rope, tying are all tangible and observable. And therefore, they are things that all blacks will fully understand, precisely as they will not all understand what an obligation is. The fact that they had to define obligation in this way is therefore by itself compelling evidence for my thesis that Zulu thought lacks abstract concept and indirectly for my claim that blacks are deficient in abstract thinking. My thinking about blacks and time began in 1988 as I pulled into my garage. Several francophone Africans drove up and stopped right in front of my car. Hey, I said, you can't park here. Perfectly friendly and respectful, as I've known for a long time black Africans are. They asked me, oh, are you leaving now? No, I said, but saying what should have been the utterly obvious, I might want to leave sometime later. Park over there, and they did. The point is, their thinking seemed to encompass only the here and now. If you're leaving now, we understand, but otherwise, what's the problem? I had many other such encounters, and the key question was always, are you leaving now? The future does not exist. It will exist, but it doesn't exist now. Hence, people who have difficulty in thinking of things which do not exist will ipso facto have difficulty in thinking of the future.
He's explaining how so many blacks end up in jail and murder and all that shit. If you know, innately, inherently, we can't see the future and consequences. That's where consequences live. Consequences live in the future. They don't exist in the now.
Yeah.
And sons are overrepresented in consequences, whether it's death row, whether it's prison, whether it's probation, parole, no matter what it is, whether it's suspensions in schools, sons are dead. Number one in all discipline. Consequences.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more than that too, right? It's like not only do they not realize about the consequences, but it seems like the way the culture is, they don't care about the consequences.
Well, because that's their collective expression.
Yeah.
That's them as a collective. So if we don't have like orientation to the future when we get together in a group, our culture, or whatever they call our culture, or a way of life is going to reflect that, right?
Right. Yeah, I've seen so many videos of these people being pulled over, and the police, like, it's a minor traffic stop, which they can just take a ticket and leave, but they turn it into like a felony, and the police give them so many chances of the consequences. Like, look, either just sign this ticket or you're going to go to jail. 20 times they'll say it. So they would rather like suffer that consequence because they don't. I mean, it just seems like they don't care about it. They're so stubborn in their way of thinking They just disregard the consequence. They just don't want to comply.
It's like there's no concept of anything past right this minute.
Right.
I thought it was just empathy, like lack of empathy, and again generalizing, but yeah, it's like everything is in the moment.
Impulse control.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But another thing though, how the sun, how we're just leading and all that, and all the negative, but we're also overrepresented in like everything government. So it's like no matter what, I mean, in the commercials, on the radio, like it's almost like the West is just overly consumed with the sun buffoonery, and it's like a shield, like a weapon. And it's so annoying, and we have to play dumb. Like, how long do we have to play dumb?
I mean, I don't think it's going to change anytime. How could it change?
I don't know. I don't know how it can. I really don't.
Think about it. Like if it's DNA or inherited, we're not going to evolve in our lifetime. Blacks aren't going to evolve.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would change if there was like some kind of media, some kind of that Con Inc. kind of media, but not Fox News, but something else like that. But it's more geared towards those milquetoast fence sitting people. If we had something like that, then I think eventually people are just they're going to start taking sides, and at least they're going to know which direction they're going to go, rather than everything just being one side, because it's so one-sided.
Appears that the Zulu entry for future, isikati, is the same word as the word for time, as well as the word for space. In other words, none of these concepts exist in Zulu thought, period. It appears also that there's no word for the past, meaning the time preceding the present. This should not be surprising, since the past no longer exists, just as the future does not yet exist. So people who have difficulty in thinking of things which do not exist will have difficulty in thinking the past as well as the future, since neither exists. This has an obvious bearing on such things as gratitude, something I've long noticed is not common amongst Blacks. You might wonder why it took me so long, why it took me more than 20 years to notice this phenomenon. Briefly, I think it is because our assumptions about time are so bedrock that we're not even aware of having them. And therefore, we are not aware of the possibility that there might be some people who don't have them, who don't make these assumptions about time. Therefore, it's just not on our radar. And so, of course, we don't see it. An article in the South African press in 2002 notes the problems that Blacks have with mathematics. Quote, Xhosa, another major language in South Africa, is a language where polygon and plane have the same definition. Words like triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon are defined by only one word. End of quote. In other words, it is a language in which these concepts simply do not exist. In America, Blacks are said to have a, quote, tendency to approximate space, numbers, and time, instead of aiming for complete accuracy, end of quote. In other words, they are also poor at math. In other words, 7 times 7 is about 50. Notice the identical triumvirate of abstract concepts: space, numbers, and time. none of which can be seen, heard, or touched. Is it just a coincidence that these concepts with which blacks everywhere have such difficulties? The Zulu entry for number, by the way, ningi, means numerous, which is not at all the same as the concept of number. It is clear, therefore, that there's no such concept as number in Zulu. White rule in South Africa ended in 1994. It was about 10 years later that power outages started, which has recently reached epidemic proportions. One cause of this is deliberate load shedding, precisely because the Zulu government, the ANC government, which was specifically warned by government parastatal in 1999 to build more power plants, did not. Enough said. The other is the breakdown ended in 1994. It was about 10 years later that power outages started, which has recently reached epidemic proportions. One cause of this is deliberate load shedding, precisely because the Zulu government, the ANC government, which was specifically warned by government parastatal in 1999 to build more power plants, did not. Enough said. The other is the breakdown of existing power plants due to lack of maintenance. Maintenance is future-oriented, and the Zulu entry for maintenance is ondla, which means nourish, rear, bring up, keep an eye on, watch your crop. In short, there's no such thing as maintenance in Zulu thought. It would be hard to argue that the absence of the concept of maintenance has nothing to do with the fact that throughout Africa, the phrase nothing works is only an exaggeration. The New York Times reveals that New York City is considering a plan since implemented at getting blacks to do well on standardized tests and to show up for class, which could earn them as much as $500 a year. Adults would be rewarded for keeping a full-time job, having health insurance, and attending parent-teacher conferences. Students would be paid for doing well on tests and sometimes just for taking them, as well as for regular attendance and for each book they read. The clear implication is that blacks are not very motivated. Motivation involves thinking about the future and hence thinking about things which do not exist. Given black deficiencies in this regard, it is not surprising that they would be lacking in motivation, and having to prod them in this way is just further evidence for this. The Zulu entry for motivate is banga, under which I find in the dictionary, make, cause, produce something unpleasant, to cause trouble, contend over a claim, fight over inheritance, make for, aim at, journey. But when I ask blacks what banga means, they have no idea, which tells me that whatever it means, it does not mean motivation. Clearly, this is a substitute definition, finding the closest Zulu word as opposed to a constructed definition, as if to bind one's feet. In fact, no Zulu word could refer to motivation for the simple reason that there is no such concept in Zulu. And if there's no such concept, there cannot be a word for it, precisely because in Zulu there is no it for motivation. All of which it helps explain the need to entice blacks into behaving as if they were motivated. The entry for ambition is langazela, which means simply desire or longing. Compare this to the Encarta dictionary. Desire for success, a strong feeling of wanting to be successful in life and achieve great things, which is in fact a good description of exactly what blacks so frequently lack.
Hey,
One explanation for this lack of abstract thinking, including the diminished understanding of time, is that blacks evolved in a climate where they could live day to day without having to think ahead. They never developed the ability to think of things which do not exist, precisely because there was never any need to. Whites, on the other hand, evolved in circumstances where
Yeah.
they had to develop its ability.
There he is.
Like what would
I was
happen
listening
if
to
we
this shit.
don't build
This shit is
stop
amazing
houses?
because it explains everything. This explains everything we see, man. Everything we see in them stories. If the future is not on your mind, you would make a lot different decisions, Gladys. All of you Gladys would make a lot if the future didn't cross your mind. You would do shit too that would seem
Oh yeah,
odd.
I totally agree. No, you're not wrong.
You know?
The most local news. This is 8 News Now. Live, local, now.
We now know the identity of a man killed in a shooting inside a Northwest Valley gym. You're watching 8 News Now at 11 o'clock. I'm Sasha Loftus. That man and the gunman are dead tonight. Several others also hurt after Metro Police say a person opened fire inside the Las Vegas Athletic Club near Rainbow and Lake Mead. That's what we find 8 News Now reporter Madison Kimbrough with the latest on this. Madison.
Sasha, the victim, 31-year-old Edgar Quinones. He was shot and killed early Friday afternoon. As you can see, we're here on location here at the Rainbow and Lake Mead Las Vegas Athletic Club. Metro Police has been in and out of this parking lot all day, securing the premises.
Things happen in the world, and it's not like this happens every week or every month. This is a one-time deal. I don't feel unsafe coming here. It's for some reason this one person had some problem maybe with somebody and they came in. It could have been here, could have been anywhere.
Gym goers speaking out after Friday's deadly shooting at the Las Vegas Athletic Club's Rainbow and Lake Mead location. LVAC confirming the victim to be one of their employees, 31-year-old Edgar Quinones, sharing in a social media post that Quinones worked for the local gym franchise for 15 years. LVAC stating that Edgar was more than just an employee, but a source of kindness, dedication, and positivity. Metro Police sharing that officers shot the unidentified gunman, who later died at a nearby hospital. 3 additional people were taken to a hospital, one in critical condition, while 2 others suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Those who work out nearby at the LVAC on Decatur and Tropical bothered by the events that have transpired.
I had some friends that went to the other gym, and they were just telling me, like, you know, they're just going to stay home or go to a different.
Salute to everybody out there. Everybody hit that like button for me, man. Smash that like button, man. Smash that like button, guys. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Let's see these Super Chats. Salute to David DeHart says, we have no idea the misery Africans lived in. Most roads are red clay. When wet, it takes a crew to push autos up hills just to go buy food and travel. Yeah, I mean, and like you talked about earlier, he said maintenance. Maintenance is a future. Maintenance is the future because you're maintaining something so that it doesn't break down in the future. So if you don't think about the future, why would you maintain anything? You just use it now. And when it breaks, then you deal with it. When it breaks down, then you deal with it. Like, oh, the thing's completely broken down. All right, what do we do now? Well, someone who thinks about the future would maintain it throughout.
And then when it breaks, it's like, oh, it's broken. So I guess that's how it is.
Yeah. I mean, but like, you can probably fix it then, though. If you.
Who's going to fix it?
Who's going to fix it? God damn. Man, damn, man. Somebody.
Yeah. There's the key.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, it gives you more understanding, man. Like the Southern man, that's like the son man that's like ready to like murder you in front of a bunch of people over something like really small, like he's he's not thinking about that. Like, again, now here's the thing: him wanting to murder you is still a problem. You know what I mean? But how do we know that gliders don't want to murder people? They just don't. Because
Because we think about ramifications.
yeah. But if the sun man wants to murder you, there's that inhibition is not there.
It's amazing to me.
You know, it's like fuck it, just kill this guy right now.
And I think I think
What?
most gliders are completely unaware of that, and I certainly was before watching the show.
Yeah, I mean, I forget about it sometimes too. But like, yeah, I mean, it's good to. That's why I watched that video, man, because it's good to refresh that, man. Like, it's not even just like it's in the languages. Everything. If you look at like Africa, everything's screaming. We're stuck in the moment. Like we don't have everything they do.
Absolutely.
It lets you know that they don't. The future is not really something that's on their mind. Everything.
I think
Like
there's more wars in Africa than the rest of the planet combined, and it never gets talked about because it's just the most basic tribal behavior going on.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you would definitely like just brutality, atrocities. What they would call human rights violations. Shit,
Every
Africa,
day.
like they don't even like human rights is a future thing because if you're a human, right, and you have rights, those rights would be for now and in the future,
Right.
like to protect you from future offenses and transgressions. So why would you need human rights when no one's thinking about that? Or who would propose, who would theorize human rights? Who would, conjure that notion in the village? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
When you're upset with them right now, then they don't have any rights.
Right. Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. And listen, man, if everybody thinks like that, right? Let's just say because there is a distribution with like so like every single Sun man is not vote like that. But think about like say you're in the village, right? And like it's like let's say it's a couple guys that don't have they have orientation to the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like those guys are gonna be weird. Like
Very weird. Yeah.
as kids, they probably would get picked on as kids. You know what I mean? Because they would be expressing those things as kids in their behavior, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the American Son kids that try and study in school. They're the outcasts.
Yeah, because think about it, studying in school and learn like
Not
that's
cool.
the future. That's for the future.
Right.
You're doing that for the future. Like it's yeah. So it's like everything is for the future. It's like everything. Like think about it. Everything. Like just like life insurance, car insurance. You know what I mean? Those are things for the future. Savings account. You know,
Smoke alarm battery.
a fire smoke detector because the smoke detector, the fire, there's no fire happening right now. The
That's
fire
right.
it's for the future. You know what I mean? It's for a future fire.
I have a theory on that, Ock, by the way. It occurred to me that chirp of the smoke detector It's just like sneakers on a basketball court.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah, it's
That
like
is fucking hilarious.
it's like recognizable music. It's sneakers on a basketball court, wooden floor.
Jeez. That's fucking hilarious, man. Yeah. There's no future. It's just now. And there's nothing you could do about it. Like you could tell somebody, like you could shake them and say, "Hey, man," and they could probably think about it for what, and then you leave, and an hour passes, and they're back to reset the default setting.
You know what else is funny, Hawk, is watching. I have friends that have gone through anger management classes over stupid shit, and I thought, man, should they offer that as a prerequisite in the Sun community? Anger management, and would it accomplish anything?
I think they should do. I really do. I think they should. I think that would be a good idea. I mean, at very young age, like make it like
Yeah.
fun and shit. Like don't make it like a
Absolutely.
serious thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, without a doubt. Conflict resolution. All that stuff is future. Conflict resolution. Let's resolve the conflict.
Yep.
Instead of like just acting on it right now, because resolving the conflict happens in the future, because it's not happening right now. The conflict is happening right now.
Yeah.
So resolving it is in the future. So and listen, man, the people are talking about this. There's several videos like the one we just showed you. People talk about this, but this type of talk costs people their jobs.
Facts.
This type of talk has been basically made illegal in academia. Like if you're academic and you talk about this, you're done. Finito. It's a wrap for you. Like
Yeah. Well, and like that Sun sister that was on earlier, and I can't remember if she was a mayor or an attorney, but that they spew it. Oh, we just we need to talk to them. We need to change. It's like, bitch, you've been doing this for 50 years. Your community. It's like clearly the bullshit you're spewing is not doing a damn thing. There and no one talks about accountability. That's it's just no accountability, and no responsibility from the adults. Going, maybe we're fucking up the way we raise our kids. Maybe we need to get our heads out of our asses. And the guy earlier whose kid was killed by his idiot friend, and he said, yeah, the guns. And there were 3 fucking guns in that room. One of those belonged to the guy's kid that got killed. You notice how they glossed over that?
Yeah.
It's like, freaking take responsibility for, and again, that's the future thing, just like you said, though. It's like, oh, my kid's a good kid right now, right at this moment. Oh, until he goes and kills someone or carjacks someone.
Yeah, and responsibility and accountability are abstract principles, because
indeed
you're not like responsible. You're just you just are. Now, if something happens and you're accountable for it, it's like that's something different than just you are. That's like 7 fingers. It's like me counting 7 on my fingers. And the symbol 7, like the literal number 7 that's drawn.
Right.
The difference between those 2 things. Like, okay, like, so you're responsible for your actions. So if I do something in the future, I'm responsible for that. Like I have to be accountable for it's almost like
Yeah,
But
and it's problematic, like you said, because they choose when the altercation starts. It's not when
exactly,
they were. It's not when they were an asshole. It's when you said, "Hey, why are you being an asshole?" That's when it's.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, because like yeah, it's just yeah, and those things are like prevalent. So it's like you could let's just say like right, okay, you got two sons, you got a son, right? He's being an asshole in
Yep.
front of a bunch of people to you, right?
Yep.
And you're like, stop being an asshole. And he gets mad, and you look to the other sons, and you're like, hey man, but you saw him be an asshole to me. And they're more likely going to side with the son
Right.
because they're sons too, and they
Well,
see it the same way.
and surely I said it only because I'm racist, not because he was actually being an asshole.
Right.
And that's
And
that
racism.
accountability thing. And that's why white crime is so down, because we 100% hold, and I don't want to be tribal, but white people don't put up with shit from other white people, and we call it out and say, "Hey, that guy's an asshole," or "That guy's a piece of shit that needs to be locked up." But if we say that about a
But if you
problem
lock the
race,
killer up, think
yeah,
about it. If you lock the killer up, right? Why are you removing the killer or the bad actor from the neighborhood? Why are you doing that?
right, because he did that killing, and now he's not killing now, so let him out, because that killing, that was in the past. Now he's not a killer. That was that one thing he did where he killed someone. So and that's why certain people in the Sun community idolize these scumbags, because they were bad at that one moment, but now they're okay. Now it's glider
Well, I think
repression.
it's more. I think it's more like they don't understand that person is going to be a problem in the future.
Exactly,
So they don't
100%. That's
understand that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
they don't understand that removing that person helps you in the future.
yeah,
It
and
doesn't
then it
help
makes
you now, but it'll help you 5 minutes from now.
and it makes you question every shitlib judge that lets guys go with, as you say, the CVS receipt laundry list of criminal, charges that they've had, and it's like, oh, but that was 37 or that was 82 charges, but they're good now. Now they're reformed. They just need one more chance.
Yeah. It's also yeah, it's also clear now, but it's also the more it clears up, the more like gloomy the picture seems, because it's like, oh shit, there's actually nothing you can do about it.
Well, and I still think the whole thing about the deporting of illegal immigrants and all that, I think the left is paranoid about that, because once we solve that issue and that starts plummeting, because a lot of Latin American criminals get counted as white, and once that crime is off the books, then it's going to be really hard to avoid the statistics of who's doing the vast majority of violent crime. I think we lost Doc. There he is.
Yeah, I'm back. You hear me?
Yep, you're good.
You hear me?
Yep, can you hear us?
All right. Yeah, man. I lost connection.
I think us is just me.
Yeah. But
It's probably time to wrap, eh?
yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, but yeah, definitely, man. It is. There's nothing you can do about somebody's nature. So it's like, especially on a big scale too, because like think about the educated sons on the college campuses with the degrees. You can't explain this to them. How would you explain it to like the masses when you the educate try to explaining this to Roland Martin? But try explaining this to fucking, you know what I'm saying, Dr.
Forget it.
Umar or something. Like, you
And,
know what I'm saying? Like,
and you get a brilliant mind like Thomas Sowell, and he's a total outcast.
He might not even, you know, subscribe to this. Not saying that he's not brilliant, but what I'm saying is that like brilliance is one thing and being smart is one thing, yada yada. Another thing is being based.
Sure, I agree.
So it's like you gotta be able to you just like, hey man, is this is a hard pill to swallow, but hey, it is what it is. And I don't think you could get this across to even the most educated sons.
No, and I can't remember if I told you I had a son woman older than me come in my store, and she started talking politics a little bit. Nice lady, I've liked her. She's been coming in my shop for years. But I come to learn at this most recent visit that she had been a teacher here in Alaska for 20 plus years, a teacher, and she had never heard of Thomas Sowell, an African American woman. Are you shitting me?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Like I don't know anybody who I promise you, I don't know anybody who knows who Thomas Sowell is.
And I'm thinking he's one of the most well written African Americans ever. And
Yeah,
the fact if she hadn't read a book, I get that. But the fact she didn't know who he was just blew my mind.
Yeah. Nobody knows who he is. No son. If you meet a son who knows who Thomas Sowell is, it's probably somebody who's on social media in like a space like this or something. But just a regular black person that's, you know, like you said, a teacher, a professor, you know what I'm saying, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, artist or whatever. Yeah, like they have no clue who Thomas Sowell is. Not at all. Walter, what's the other one? Walter Williams. Hell, they won't know. They won't know. They won't know. What's the other? Glenn Lowry. They won't. They don't know any. Like none of those people. None of them. And here's the thing: even if you did tell them about, they wouldn't care because what he's talking about is like bullshit. Like he's not talking about like the white man and races. Like they're not going to care about, even if you do bring it up, even if you do educate them on, he wouldn't resonate with them.
Right, because he's counter to the narrative, of course.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And racism and, you know, excuses, that I think that has something to do with the future orientation too, because it's like, okay, well, we're going to keep fucking up because we don't consider the future. So here's an excuse for you every time. Because we're going to keep fucking up. We're gonna keep fucking because we don't orientate the future. So like, hey, so why wouldn't I? And then you're gonna give me an excuse too, like, okay, so so I can say this every time. Okay, here, it's this. Yeah, this.
Well, and there's plenty of gliders that do the same shit too. Look what Colorado just did with it's now illegal to misgender someone. So a dude that thinks he's a woman, if you're like, hey, what's up, dude? You can go to jail. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's yeah, and yeah, and that's the great thing about America's states, man. Like, you know, they that's their state. Like, we don't in Pennsylvania, we don't have to be, you know. Now that shit does spread like wildfire, but I think the trans movement is people are starting to get fatigued.
I think so. Yes, I think so too. I think honest people are realizing that it was 100% a fad and a trend, and it was basically people that either were gay and wanted to be more important than gay, or I don't know what. I think there were people that weren't even gay that just,
Yeah,
had
autogynophiles.
issues. Yeah, all kinds of weird stuff, and
Yeah.
wanted to be get attention, or be the permanent victim class. So, they felt they were higher status. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of weirdos, man. Yeah, the fatigue for that is, and Trump kind of like, he solidified, he legitimized the fatigue too by passing the bills and the language he uses towards that. He gives people a voice because a lot of these things people don't like, but if you can't say nothing about it. One
Right.
thing we've learned is that people will, if people feel, people aren't brave as people are not as brave as we would like to think they are. If you're gonna get shunned, people usually like won't say nothing if they feel like they're gonna get shunned.
Oh yeah. I mean, shit. Doc, if I wasn't afraid of being more canceled than I already am, my business here in Alaska, I'd tell you my business. I think you would dig it, but um, yeah, I'm in an industry that is massively left leaning, and including a good amount of Sun customers. But yeah, I have to. I still
I
have to be
probably
careful.
already know. I can probably already guess now that you said that. I ain't gonna blow you up, but I can guess.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah.
Not a weed
That's
shop, Ian.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's what I
No,
was
no,
thinking. Okay.
I'm in the music industry.
Oh, okay. Production.
That's part of what I do.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah. That is awesome, man. I make music and stuff.
Exactly.
Have you heard my stuff?
I have. I like it.
Okay, yeah. Maybe one day we gotta work on something, man. One day, man.
I'm not opposed.
Yeah. I
I'm
haven't
more
made a
rock and
song
roll
to
than
you.
country, but I
No, I
am
love rock.
definitely
I
open
love rock.
minded.
I love
Yeah.
rock. I love rock, man. Rock is my. Most of the songs I write nowadays are rock. Like most of the songs I write nowadays are rock. Actually, I got this. Actually, the song. Yeah, you got to email me, man. The song that I've been meaning to work on for years, man.
Hey, I offered you one of my songs for your theme or your intro for your Rumble channel, but I don't think you saw the email.
Okay, yeah, you gotta when you email me, put Doug with chunks in the subject.
All right.
Because
Fair enough.
you gotta remember when you get so many emails,
Oh yeah.
It's just like if I miss a day of emails or miss a couple of days of emails, having to go back and look, it's like, oh God.
I get that. I miss emails from suppliers quite often, so I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, man, definitely, man. Yeah, yeah, I got one we can work on, man. Talking about rock. Yeah, rock is and I I just love music, man. But not being able to play and not being able to sing, it's kind of like it's weird, man. Still, because it's like I can write it, but
Yeah, and
I
I find that
can't
impressive
sing, I
that,
can't
that
play.
that you don't sing and you don't play, but you write tunes that are catchy, and that's what it's all about. That hook.
Yeah, it's like a weird gift. Cause I remember the recorder. Remember the recorder in like first grade? I couldn't even play the fucking recorder. Yeah, yeah, man. Let me get out of here before I fall asleep, man.
You got it. Yep.
Salute, Doug, man.
Hey, salute to you.
Salute to everybody out here, man. Make sure you hit the like button, support the channel. Same black time, same black channel. I'm out of here. Subscribe.
Good night, people.